What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I want to say a big hello to our wonderful, beloved subscribers that are in the Zoom room right here early on. I want to welcome all of you watching on Facebook and YouTube and give a big shout out to our friends at the Sign Network. Thank you so much for putting this out to all of you, hundreds of Facebook groups and pages. I know a lot of you are like, wow, what is this thing that kind of popped up that I'm looking at? Well, we are the Global Peace Tribe. We are the Awakening World. This is a show that is every Wednesday and Saturday night, and we are here to provide inspiration and information. And tonight we are celebrating our favorite festival of the year is coming up. You know, the biggest festival, which we always promote and did several shows around, was the Conscious Life Expo. But our favorite personal is the New Living Expo. And it's happening next weekend. A lot of us will be there. Almost all of the presenters you're going to see tonight are members or are going to be presenting at the Expo. And so let me tell you a little bit about who we've got with us. First off, we've got Debbie Dashinger, and she's brilliant. By the way, Debbie, I really enjoyed watching you moderating panels at the Conscious Life Expo. You did.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you were there with your dog.
You rock. You rock. We have a new friend, Heather Taylor, and she has an amazing story of healing. And she is a Mount Shastaite, and we'll learn all about her. And he may look like a praying mantis, but he's actually Tony Godfrey, representing the praying mantis beings. There they are.
Yes.
And we'll learn all about his really unique connection to another entirely different civilization that are here to support us in wonderful ways. A little bit later, we're going to have Alan Steinfeld joining us, and we're looking forward to his Making Contact update. And we have great music tonight. You used to know her as Fanny, but now we know her fully as Star Child, and her beloved Vigari are with us, and they've got an amazing personal, perfect song for the kind of making contact, up and away reality that we're entering. And then Lori Ann Speed is with us. Her piano is absolutely virtuoso. And I'm seeing the wild monk nodding his head up and down as I sing Lori Ann's praises. So a big hello to all of our Zoom roomers. Now, we've got something kind of special that we're going to do tonight. Of course, normally, if Omar Shah was here, we would start with an Omar Shah song. Omar Shah is still in England. I had a really nice text exchange with him yesterday. He'll be back with us in 1 week. A week from today, he'll be with us. Rather than playing an Omar Shah video, though, I just discovered our wonderful Dorina, who's down in South America, actually Central America, in Ecuador, has created the most beautiful 90-second video. And so we're going to open the show with that. So with no further ado, I invite you to drop into the beauty of this incredible vision that our own Dorina Joy created. Was letting people in and it caused it to pause. Dorina Joy is with us. Turn on your microphone, Dorina Joy, and tell us a little bit about how this video came to you. And then I'm going to read some of the comments coming in from our chat box about it.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everyone, my beloved Global Peace Tribe and family, friends and family all together by choice. It's such a joy to share this 90 seconds short video, which was inspired by the Illuminate Film Festival, actually, who are asked to create such a short video with the theme of sharing something treasured old while co-creating something new with the new technologies. So this little film called Love is the Interface and the Gift Beyond Time and Space has been surprisingly such a profound and joyful initiation for me, literally, because as my first cinematic experience and first artistic film adventure, this project became far more than a submission for a film festival. It became an act of remembrance, inspiration, and co-creation. And this film is actually deeply rooted in the ancestral memories from my own native country of Bulgaria and Eastern Europe, who are celebrating Easter actually tonight on this Sunday, are different from the Catholic one, which just was last Sunday. So the memories, the messages, the humor of my grandmother who said to me, I would rather die laughing. And that remained with me forever. And I always imagined that if I have a choice, that's the kind of passing I would love to have, just like her. And the tenderness and the spiritual gift of my family tree and Asian lineages was so uniquely vivid in my memory and my body and my spirit that I wanted to honor it. And this has been passed through so much love and also through loss and through laughter and through the quiet wisdom that continues to live within all of us. So I'm really grateful that I was able to also reach beyond the visible horizon and explore how the emerging tools like AI can help us create new possibilities and help illuminate what is timeless rather than forget it. So this last sentence here, this project really taught me that art can be both intimate and expansive and personal and universal. And it showed me that even if a short form, beauty can carry so much truth and the future becomes more human, even if with AI as our partners and co-creators, and we can remember that love is always the answer, and wisdom is the way, and joy is the how. Thank you so much, dear friends and family. And thank you, Scott, and everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I'm going to read some of the comments that are coming in. Ayada writes, Dear Dorina, wow. Thank you so much for this spectacular and beautiful video. My eyes were welling up with tears, especially after knowing what you went through, both in Ecuador and Europe over the past few years. And yes, for anybody who doesn't know, Dorina has gone through the death of her father, earthquakes, her home burning down, tremendous health challenges, almost life-threatening. So for her to have that positive, enthusiastic energy and to put it into such a beautiful creative expression is amazing. Susan Bloomquist writes, thank you for your story and keep making more of these. Our beloved Bonnie Russell writes, inspiring. Thank you, Dorina. Carol Craig writes, fabulous work, Dorina. Eleanor Joy writes, also fabulous video. Gerald Anderson, amazing. Bridget, beautiful. Susan, very classy, Dorina. Wonderful messages. And so the messages continue to come in. Dia just wrote, Dia, lightful creation, Dorina. Joy, thank you so much. And I'm loving hearing you speak. Yeah, isn't it nice to hear her speak? So wonderful. And I love highlighting what some of our beautiful Global Peace Tribe audience are providing. Okay, well, our first guest is Debbie Dashinger, and I've been aware of you, Debbie, for quite a while, seeing you in and around our common world, and recently she did an amazing job of moderating a rather tricky panel at the Conscious Life Expo, and she did a great job. A little bit about Debbie. She focuses on helping spiritual messengers translate their ideas and messages into books and interviews that reach the masses, and thus helping people to achieve unparalleled success in their mission. And that's important because I know so many of the people watching this show are truly driven to play their role in the awakening world, their role in this new paradigm. Debbie's greatest values are spirituality, community, UFO and ETs, and healing work. She's a certified shamanic energy practitioner, a certified wine specialist, and also a lead singer in the medicine band, Lions of Lyra. We'll have to have you and your band on sometime, Debbie. She leads private and group shamanic healing experiences that are life-changing. She's been on George Norrie's Beyond Belief and all the major podcasts, and well, we're just really blessed to have you with us. And I've asked Debbie, since she's our first presenter, to maybe get us off to a start and to kind of follow up on the beautiful video we just watched and set the tone for the evening.
Thank you. I'm honored. Hello, everybody. It's really a blessing to be with you wherever you are in the world. And I'm going to open sacred space. And specifically, I'll going in my space, south, west, north, east, to Pachamama and up to the sky. And so I invite you, you can either face those directions where you are, or just put your hand on your heart and breathe and allow these words to sink in. This is my spirit water, which I make myself. And this is my very ancient rattle. So we're going to start with the south.
Are you on mute?
Everybody, please remember to keep yourselves muted.
To the winds of the south, Sachamama, great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us how to shed our skin and our past the way you shed your skin. Show us how to walk the beauty way as you do, belly to the earth. Thank you for all you give when you let go of your skin, our past, in one fell swoop. We aspire to be the same. Aho. To the winds of the west, Atarango, mother, sister, jaguar. Thank you for being so bold and beautiful. Thank you for making your family your primary love object. Thank you for being gentle and ferocious all at once. And thank you for showing us how to walk across the rainbow bridge when it is our time. Aho. To the winds of the north, Sarwa, Kinti, royal hummingbird, thank you for reminding us to drink of the sweet nectar of life. Thank you for showing us how to be still amidst the chaos. Ancient ones, come and warm your hands by our fires. We honor you who have come before us and you who will come after us, our children's children's children. Aho. To the winds of the east, Tapuchin, great eagle, condor, thank you for showing us what it is like to fly wing to wing with great spirit. Thank you for showing us how it is to fly above the great Apus, the sacred mountains we only dare to dream of. Thank you for allowing us to look down upon the valley, if you will, the great vista of our life. So instead of being so buck up against the minutia and all the little details that take us off course every day, instead to see the grand picture of who we are and our life, and then see that one thread of our greatest destiny, pick it up, take it, claim it, and become that. Aho. Pachamama, great mother, Madre Tierra. Thank you for clothing us, feeding us, housing us. To the two-legged, the four-legged, the no-legged, the many-legged, the fin, the furred, the winged ones, all our relations. Thank you for being our great mother and our home. Aho. Father Sky, Grandmother Moon, to the great star nations, to our galactic brothers and sisters, thank you for shining your light on us, whether it is the moonlight or the sunlight, yet one more day. Thank you for allowing us to sing our song. And thank you for allowing us to be your beloved children, because we, each of us, came here to fulfill a great mission in our own way, to be the piece of the puzzle of heaven on earth at this very auspicious time on the planet. Thank you for being with us every step of the way. Thank you for activating yourselves at this amazing time in history and for activating us as well. We honor you, we love you, we treasure you, and we are so grateful to walk this journey and sing our song one more day. Aho. This sacred circle and this sacred ceremony tonight is now open. Aho.
I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment. Let's just send Debbie some appreciation for such a beautiful opening. Thank you so much, Debbie. And Debbie, share with us a little bit. I know that you have worked quite a bit with Neil. You do programs on Portal to Ascension. And we'll take a look in a few minutes at the channeling course you're doing. But since Neil can't be with us, he was going to be with us and something came up. Share with us a little bit about your experience of Neil and the wonderful things he does in this world.
Yes, it's my one word if I had for Neil Gaur. And by the way, his last name, Gaur, is more like Om, right? OM. So it's actually in Indian pronounced Gore. Just thought I'd add that. So he's one of my closest friends. And we went from me being a speaker at his various events to realizing there was so much cross pollination between us. We wanted to co create. So we've been doing a lot of that, and it's magnificent. He is a young buck who is really here at the right time. I am so excited of all the people on the planet who could have purchased New Living Expo when Kenny decided he was going to retire and sell it, that he and his wife chose Neil. They chose well. Neil is so special, so deeply tapped in to the spiritual, to the extraterrestrial, to the ancient civilizations, all the magnificent conversations we love to have. And he is taking a paradigm that has worked well, but imbuing it with 40-something-year-old energy. All new speakers, music like we've never had before, vendors we've never had before. This is set to be a really auspicious event. There's so many of us about to fly up next week and just have a hell of a time with our community, but also growing and sharing. And I, for one, am looking forward to it. I just came back from Greece and Turkey, 2.5 weeks with Neil, and I'm barely home and I'm turning around. I'm getting back on a plane, and we're all going to meet up in San Rafael, California. So I would say Neil is a genius. He is the right guy at the right time, and he's an unbelievable creator. What he puts out online constantly and live events, it's very rare to find a content creator who puts out so much and puts the light, the spotlight on so many amazing people, amazing voices. So he's magnificent.
I'm so appreciating that I asked you that question. And I had a feeling that you would be able to really share our love for Neil. And I have a similar experience, Debbie. I've known Kenny Kaufman, oh gosh, 40 years, I think. I mean, a really, really long time. And always was participating in one way or the other in the New Living Expo. And when he told me he was going to sell it, I was like, oh no, we can't end it. And you're right. There's not anybody I can imagine who would be a better steward for this expo that we love than Neil and all that he brings to it. And so since we're talking about it, just to remind everybody, you can learn all about the New Living Expo by going to the website. And lo and behold, it's easy to remember. It's newlivingexpo.com. newlivingexpo.com. It's next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 17th, 18th, and 19th. And you can just take a look at some of the speakers, and it's all of our friends. It's all of our favorite people. I'm not going to read everybody's name, but some of the people that you recognize that have been on the show quite often: John Gray, Danny Sheehan, of course, Vivian Chauvet was on last weekend. Debbie Solars will be with us next weekend. Laura Eisenhower, King Cash, Lily Nova, Billy Carson. And these are all of our friends. They're all going to be there live in person. Geraldine Orozco, Marilyn, JJ and Desiree, Steve Halpern, and on and on and on. It's really an incredible collection of extraordinarily talented people. And so I invite us all, anybody who can get to the San Francisco Bay Area. San Rafael is located about 45 minutes north of San Francisco, and 20 minutes north of where I live. I fortunately live very close by because I'm in Tiburon. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, of course, for those of you who can't make it, we will be doing the Awakening World from the expo, including Saturday night, as always. And we're actually looking at maybe even doing a special Sacred Sunday show to bring you some more of the people that are going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Exciting. That is great. So folks can get a little flavor of what's going on.
Debbie, I want our audience to get to know you a little bit more, though. So tell us more about you and what's alive for you besides going to Greece. My God, I mean that's a whole story. But yeah, tell our audience a little bit more about who you are and what you're all about at this time in your life.
Who I am, I mean, I've always been very, very spiritual. I'm definitely born, baby, I was born that way. However, I did not believe in UFOs. I did not believe in extraterrestrials. And I was a huge eye roller. And 7 years ago, I, out of nowhere, had this calling that I start experiencing ayahuasca. That was also something I didn't believe in, but I know enough about energy, and it was truth, it was discernment. So I started experiencing ayahuasca. And one of the trips, I went out of country, and I was gone for 4 days back to back drinking with some very exceptional shamans. And during that experience, magnificent things happened, lots of healing, lots of past lives, lots of trauma being released. And the divine came and visited me while I was very deep on the medicine. And it was a feminine energy. And she said, Debbie, you are a healer, you're a shaman, and you're a priestess. I had no context for that. So I argued with her. And she was very benevolent and gracious, but firm, to let me know you are these things. Night after night, as I drank and let go, he appeared and said the same exact words. You're a shaman, you're a healer, you're a priestess. Well, there's quite a story behind that, but suffice it to say that when I came home, I was massively confused. And somebody gave me some regression sessions. And in those regressions, I absolutely saw several lifetimes as a shaman. Quite beautiful. The final session that I had, I saw myself living in a pyramid, and I was over 7 feet tall. I was extremely skinny. And I spent what felt like a day with this beautiful being, this aspect of me. And before I left, because she was so potent, I'd never seen anything, anyone create like she did. I had a question for her, but it was filled with assumptions about what I was seeing and experiencing her. And I asked her the question, and she shook her head and she raised her finger and she telepathically said, I'm not from here. I am from another galaxy. So I came out of that session and mind blown, all this separation I had had around UFOs and ETs, I come to find out I am that. I am multidimensional, and I have had lives, am having lives right now in other places, galaxies. And again, truth discernment was so powerful. I was 1,000% in and hungry. I'm a journalist. That's my nature, curiosity, researching. And because I've been doing a podcast and radio show for 19 years, Dare to Dream, I had the platform to ask a lot of questions of some amazing people who are very edifying. And at the same time, I'm researching, I am getting galactic Akashic record readings. All of this, I'm immersed in this world and at a voracious rate, but I was able to receive a lot of information. And as soon as I call that coming online, as soon as I came online, I started seeing UFOs. I had some profound UFO experiences on freeways with other people in the vehicle. No other truck or car saw this UFO. In sacred land out in Arizona, I had spheres reveal themselves to me, not angel orbs, literally species spheres. Driving from LA to San Diego, I would see UFOs, and then I started receiving the visits. And the visits were in an ethereal state, they were in dream state. I was being met by my lion family, the Lyrans. I was being met by the Elohim, the beings of light. And there's a lot of love there. And all my experiences have been benevolent, very caring, very loving. And there's no doubt that there's a team that looks after me, as you said in the beginning, Scott, books, PR, taking books to international bestseller. That was my wheelhouse. That's what I was known besides from my podcast. But 7 years ago, and right after I did my shamanic certifications, I started receiving invitations. The World UFO event in Mexico City asking me to come speak, and I wasn't pitching myself. And I thought, well, that's very strange, but okay. And I'm getting ready. This is quite a long time ago now, but I'm getting ready to go to Mexico City. And all of a sudden I get an invitation from Gaia TV. We'd like to interview you. I'm like, I'm being punked because I know how to do this and I'm not doing this. What is up? And I write to Gaia and it's sincere. They know about me and they're inviting me on. And so it has been. Many of these outlets, many of these radio shows, podcasts, TV. And I just surrendered. I've gotten a lot of knowledge that there is a contingency of galactic beings who are seeing after me, who are asking me to use my voice at this time to share about this and so much more. I talk about Middle Earth. I talk about what's really on in the earth, what's really going on in the oceans. I talk about what's going on in tunnels beneath Egypt and many other countries that were created for these giant ancient beings. And there's so much, but it's lit a fire in me. I am incredibly grateful to ayahuasca and to myself for doing this, because I think they really wanted to reach me but didn't know how. And my ego had to be dead. My heart had to be open to receive all of this and to start on this path. And today, shamanism, extraterrestrials, this really is what I do, what I speak about, what I am about. And I'm so grateful to be a representative for all of this.
Beautiful story. And a reminder that we all are multidimensional beings. The blessing, Debbie, is that you know it, you've experienced it. And I'm grateful that in my life I've had a few experiences of my multidimensional self. And I'd love to invite some of our audience members, if you've experienced your multidimensional self, it might be what we would call a past life or a future life, or even a parallel reality, or yourself in the astral plane, pop in the chat box. I'd love to read some of the experiences that you've had. And what's wonderful, Debbie, is someone like yourself who started as a skeptic and then have these experiences, and then you're willing to, speak about them, makes it safe for other people to know that when they're having that multidimensional experience, they're not going crazy. They're just becoming aware of another part of themselves.
Yeah. George Norrie used to ask me, well, what would you say to someone who doesn't believe in this stuff? And I would say, George, I get it. I have a lot of compassion because that was me. But it doesn't mean that the other side of a breath or the veil, that this will not be an unfolding for you. I believe people are awakening at a mass level right now. We are right on course at this point. And a lot of people, when they're awakening, it's not with resistance. It is not with a lot of, oh, I have to figure this out. And what does this mean? And most people are immediately in. They may need to do some adjustments and connect with some people, but they really are feeling the full truth of who they are. And I'll also add, Scott, when you were talking about asking folks, the beautiful people out there, all their experiences, one of the things that I have a lot going on right now is in my dream state. Be interesting to see if people understand this. It's been happening to me for years, and it happens in clusters, meaning night after night after night. I'll go to sleep and I will find myself in a different lifetime. Of course, when I'm in that lifetime, I don't know that. That is the lifetime. I'm in a completely different aspect, generally way more advanced than when I am here. And it's very beautiful. And when I wake up here in Burbank, California, it's a little foggy. it takes me a bit. There is this sort of netherland I'm in, and it's not a bad fugue. It's not a bad place to be, but I'm very aware that I'm still bringing the aspects of me back here, and that this me here in this 3D world we're all in is wanting to move forward, get her coffee, wake up, feed the dogs. And it's incredible to be able to pop out of this life and go be in another life for a while. So I'd
Mm.
love to hear if people have that as well.
Yeah, so please don't be shy, everybody. Pop into the chat box, or if somebody wants to speak, raise your hand. You just press that little button and you get the raise hand thing. Yeah, it's true, Debbie. When we have a lucid dream experience, we're operating at a higher vibration. And then we go through the ether of dreams, the ether of dreams, to kind of transition to the lower vibration that we're in here in 3D matrix, whatever you want to call it, reality, group consensus reality. And if we don't have a long transition period, if we want to kind of remember the astral, it can be shocking to come back into the body without that transition time. And so it's definitely a practice learning how to balance that. Would love to see here we go. Oh, Christine Hodel, who is a wonderful friend. She's a reverend. She writes, I woke up to multidimensionality 43 years ago, along with huge healing and awakening skills and powers. This is it. And I've remained with this as I go more and more toward awakening to total source. We are huge. We are amazing. And I think that is it. When we go beyond just the egoic, and you could say the soul self, and really remember that we are one with everything, it's really quite extraordinary, and mind-blowing and humbling. It's kind of both. Eleanor Joy writes, I don't recall experiencing a multidimensional life, but I became very aware that this is a reality about 15 years ago. Connie writes, wonderful sharing, Debbie. Thank you. We would love to capture your beautiful articulation for our Cosmic Contact episodes. And yes, definitely connect with Connie and Andrew. I hosted their first episode that they had last night, and that Danny Sheehan and about 4 or 5 of our favorite presenters on that. And then a wonderful live discussion with Patrick McCullum and others who came into the live audience. So definitely that'd be fun for you to connect to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to let people know about something that Debbie and Neil are going to be doing. Now, of course, as you all know, we've been collaborating with Neil and Portal to Ascension for many, many years. He started that around the same time we started this show. And so Portal to Ascension is Neil's platform. And Debbie, tell us about, speaking of multidimensional, tell us about this amazing course you're going to be teaching.
You. I don't want to use the word obsessed, but I love channeling. I have a lot of discernment also, I might add, around channelers, because I feel like these days a lot of people say they channel and it just doesn't always vibe for me. But I've been doing what I do a long time, the podcasting and the events. So I am privy to a lot of extraordinary people. And they've changed my life, by the way, complete masterclass to be able to sit with an advanced being, whether from this civilization, a collective, or another civilization. It has changed my whole world. And the access to the information I get to have. Wow. It's beautiful. You should see, I'm always keeping a little thing in my iPhone, questions for channelers. Brrr. It goes on and on. So when I get to engage with a channeler, I ask questions about everything that I'm really curious about. So Neil and I decided to do this 9-week intensive. And we're going to be doing the orientation and the activations in the beginning. And then the first 4 weeks, you meet 3 channelers once a week. and each of them will be doing channeling sessions. Now, all the amazing people involved know that they're bringing brand new information. This is nothing they've shared anywhere else. And that this has to be very relevant for anybody who is coming live. These are live and these are online. And we handpicked each of these people. And when those 4 weeks are complete, we're heading into the next 4 weeks where, guess what? We get to learn how to channel. Each of these magnificent, highly qualified people are going to teach us. And I love, speaking of multidimensionality, that each of them has a different way of teaching us how to do this. I'm excited about it because I had Rob Gauthier, if you know who he is. He's an amazing trance channeler of thousands of beings, once become Lyran beings, my family, and tell me, you are going to start channeling. And we know you're excited, we know you're afraid, but you are going to start channeling and it's going to be big for you. And then brum, off he goes. And I'm like, what do I do with that? And so for any of us who just, even if you want to get in touch with your own higher self, your own highest consciousness and wisdom, use it for yourself. You don't have to be a professional, but we're all going to learn how to do this. And some of these channelers are going to be doing live Q&A. And so for folks who get the VIP tickets, highly recommended because this is very well priced for a 9-week intensive, you get to engage directly with the being who's being channeled through the person, and you get to ask a question. I think that's going to also be a very powerful piece of this work because, of course, when you ask the question, even if it's personal, we all learn from it. That's going to be all 9 weeks. We've already met with all the channelers, Neil and I. Everything's up and ready to rock and roll. This rolls out on Thursday, April 23rd. That's the first night. And then it is every Thursday until about mid-June. And so I would recommend you get your tickets if this feels exciting, if this speaks to you. I always say, forget about the how. That's how I did my entire shamanic training. Because I used to think, how am I going to do this? How am I going to, on top of my life? And I would think, stop, just stop. This is divine. If you're guided to be here, just say yes. Everything always works out because this is for you.
Beautiful. And I put the link into the chat box. For those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, just go to Portal to Ascension and then click events and you'll find it there. Again, it starts on Thursday, April 23rd, so it's coming right up. And all the details of how you can register, the different options are right there. And a course description. And wow, I mean, look at all the different channelers, including a lot of our favorites, AJ and Tom, who are going to be on the show next week, by the way. And looking forward to meeting them in person. And of course, the hosts, there's Debbie and our beloved Neil. And oh my God, you got Viviane Chabet, who we love. She was on last week. So this looks like a great course, Debbie.
So if you don't know who these people are, I mean, they're big out there, just, leap of faith, but we'd love to have you. Anybody in Scott's world is big in our world. Thank you so much for
Debbie,
talking
thank you
about
for
it.
being with us tonight and getting us off to this beautiful start. And I look forward to meeting you in person. Let's find each other and give each other a hug next week.
Sounds beautiful. Will your doggy be there?
Absolutely. She comes with me everywhere.
All right.
Everybody knows me
forward
for
to a
two
little
things, the long hair and the dog. That's like the things that people remember.
Yeah.
All right, Debbie. Thank you so much.
Mm.
All right. Well, it is time for some music, and I'm really grateful. With Omashar in England, I thought we got to have really special music for tonight. So we've got two of our favorite musical artists, Lori-Ann Speed, who we're going to see in a little while. And right now, we're going to turn it over to one of our favorite couples, Starchild and Fagari. There they are. Hello, beautiful ones.
Hola, hola.
Greetings, everyone.
Now, where are you geographically right now?
We're still in Duncan, one of the smallest cities in Canada. located on Vancouver Island.
Wow, wonderful. And you've created an original song that's perfect for the theme of tonight's show.
It is. It's called Spaceship in the Night. It's really fun to play, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to play it. We've been having fun together and creating the magic that creates the opening for a beautiful space, energy, and love and light. So here we are.
Tuning into our multidimensional selves.
Plentiful, plenty bright. It will light up the sky tonight. Slightly bigger, slightly brighter. Starship in the sky above the earth. Rises in the sky, climbs highest around midnight. Oh my, my. Sky watchers, enjoy the spectacles, enjoy the full color. Higher way, higher way, higher way, higher way, higher way. It's a mystery, a higher frequency. Star beings from across the galaxy. Presence of the Pleiadian and universal guardians. Emissary of light in our sky. Higher way, higher way, higher way, higher way, higher way, higher way, higher way. Scott, put us on the picture, Scott, Scott. Be aware of alternate realities. Be aware of starships in the sky. Oh, be aware. Star beings from across the galaxy. Be aware, be alive, be awake. All the spectacles in the sky. up the doorways of true communication with our brothers and sisters from across the galaxy. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. It's time to set the stage for meaningful interaction as we graduate to higher frequency of oneness, for all beings, of oneness for all beings. Higher way, 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 higher way,
appearing in our sky, bright lights in the sky, arriving from far away, through the pathways in the sky, higher way, higher way,
I'm going to go to gallery view and let's send love and hugs. Isn't it wonderful to have them back with us? They're just the best. And of course, lots and lots of people are sharing their appreciation for you. They're going to be back to close out the show, but I want to remind people that you can find them on Bandcamp as the Mystiques. The Mystiques 1111.bandcamp.com. That's the album that I bought, Awaken 1111, and it's a beautiful, beautiful album. And so I strongly encourage everybody, let's support this beautiful couple that we love so much. And a wonderful way to support them is buying their music. Also want to let you know that their main website is her name, starchild.ca. Starchild.ca is where all things Vagari and Starchild can be found. I love that picture of you two. It's so beautiful. And again, there's their album. So starchild.ca, and you can watch them on YouTube and learn more and see some of the pictures of all the magic that they create all around the world. And especially on our awakening world. So thank you both so much. And they're going to do a beautiful song to close out the show tonight. So thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you for beaming us up, dear Scotty. You beam us up.
My pleasure. Well, I believe if Alan Steinfeld is here, there he is. Alan is, of course, I call him Mr. Making Contact.
Making contact right there.
And He is in the know. So, Alan, we've already talked a lot about the New Living Expos. Don't really need to do that. But I would love for you to share with us what's the latest, what's happening, because so many things are happening so fast, and you've always got your finger on the pulse. What can you share with our audience?
Well, there seems to be some movement underground in Congress. A lot of people are meeting behind the scenes with Tim Burchett, the representative from Tennessee. He just said he had a briefing by insiders, and what he heard would just blow people away. He said they wouldn't be able to sleep. Of course, that's him coming from a very limited background. He's not used to the kind of information we've been hearing for the last 10, 20 years. So like just hearing that there are aliens here, they're among us, that's something the ordinary person has a hard time wrapping their head around. But for us, it's like, okay, what else is new? So there's that movement though. So, there's striations of people awakening to this phenomena. Suddenly, yeah, now it's caught on in the mainstream. Spielberg's movie is being released on June 12th, which is, bound to be a blockbuster because, just their trailer alone got 30 million views in one day. So, and we're going to try to get Captain Ron on from Contact in the Desert. So that's big on the horizon. A lot of good people coming to Contact in the Desert. Another thing that's new or not so new is that our good friend Nick Pope has passed. You heard that.
Yeah. In fact, I'm remembering now that you and I talked about doing a little bit of a tribute for Nick. And I don't know if you've got any videos.
I do think I have something I played at the last conference of Nick, who he actually wrote the opening chapter to my book there. And and Nick worked for the Ministry of Defense and in England. And there were secrets he had that he probably took with him to the grave, which is unfortunate because there's no need to hold on to secrets that could benefit people. But he had a lot of integrity. And so because he was sworn to secrecy by the Ministry of the Defense, he never divulged what he was told as part of that. But since he did write a chapter from my book, I do have a little section where he just kind of pays tribute to the book. You want me to show that now, Scott?
Let me just say a word about Nick, and then please play. I'm going to make sure you have your screen share and your sound on.
Yes.
I met Nick when I was working on The Paranormal Borderline and on Strange Universe. And we had him on the show. And of course, as Alan said, he lived in England. And he was a very thorough, and he was one of our favorite voices because he was very educated. And he handled it really like a journalist would handle it with his military background. And so he was a great voice for sharing. I'm trying to remember, he talked a lot about, what was that famous case, Alan?
The Rendlesham Forest, 1980.
That's the one.
That happened. He was one of the main investigators there. This was a 3 nights, a UFO touchdown, which was a joint military base between the British and the Americans, and it touched down on the American soil. And there were a couple of people that touched the craft, and one of them got a series of zeros and ones that turned out to be sacred site locations around the planet. This was Pendleton. Pennison was the guy's name. There's another guy who had severe health issues. I've got his name. What was his name? Linda Moulton Howe also worked with him. It was a major case. It's sort of like the Roswell of England, Rendlesham Forest episode. And Nick was a big part of that investigation. I think co-wrote a couple of books about it. And, even though this stuff has been around, we still are in the dark about what's really happening. And in this little clip I'm going to show of Nick that he did to help promote my book, he talks about how even the governments don't really know what's going on. And the other thing that Nick was so key about, that he was he was a voice. He went to Fox News. He went to the New York Post. He was the public face of UFO disclosure in some ways, and was quite a good spokesman. And what a nice guy! I have to say, he was a very, very decent person, even though he kept secrets to himself. Actually, in the chapter he writes in this book, he starts with every book has to have a villain, I guess, and he calls himself the villain because he wouldn't reveal what he did know. But in this clip I'm going to show, he tells us a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. So let me know if you see that. Do you see that on your screen there?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, you're good there? Okay, this is Nick Pope. Okay, here he goes. And me interviewing.
None of us own this subject. None of us sits as final arbiter on this. Certainly not government. I'm not one of these people, far from it. Ironically, those of us in government are sometimes far less certain about this, less equivocal in our views than many people in the UFO community. Many, many times I sat down with colleagues and said, look, we simply don't know, our honest opinion. So that's right. None of us is judge, jury, and certainly not executioner on this. And everybody's view is as valid as everybody else's. And that's what I think so great about your book, that you've got these diverse voices with different backgrounds, different experiences, different areas of specialism, and different opinions.
Right. So that is Nick just being a very honest, sincere face. He was on Ancient Aliens a lot. He did the Ancient Aliens tour. He was a big force in this community, and he is very, very missed because he held up a standard which, maybe people didn't agree with, but it was still a standard.
And I'm seeing that even the main newspaper in England did a whole article about his death. He passed last week from cancer. He was only 60 years old, 21 years as a civil servant, but willing to really come out. And you're right, he was one of the good guys. So maximum grace, and imagine all that he knows now where he is.
Right, exactly. And I think Contact in the Desert, if you look at their website, they did a nice tribute to Nick Pope. And we're going to get those Contact in the Desert guys on in sometime in May to talk about this great conference. I think it's probably the best UFO conference in the world. They have major players, especially this year. They have a couple of government insiders there. They have this guy, Jeff Nutritelli, who testified in front of Congress. They have George Knapp. They have, of course, Richard Dolan. They have me and the Hertogs. And all this UFO stuff inspired the song I wrote. And did you hear the song?
Yeah, you're going to play it, right? You're going to play it first?
I am going to play it. This is a...
But before you do, real quickly, since we're mentioning Contact in the Desert.
Yes.
You can find it, everybody, at contactinthedesert.com. Alan will be there. I'll be there. It's going to be really, really quite special. Jacques Vallée, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that movie, was based on Jacques Vallée. And he was a consultant to Spielberg on the film. I mean, he's a real old timer. So to be able to be in person with him is quite special. So anyway, you can learn all about it. There's Captain Ron, who will be on the show sometime in May to promote this. So, but now's a good time to buy your tickets. So encouraging everybody to buy tickets for Contact in the Desert. And
right.
Now tell us about this song that you wrote.
Well, I get songs sometimes in my head, and I wrote the words down as poetry. And then someone told me about this app called Suno. And I just put my intention of this song, of what I heard in my head. And I thought it was more like, I wanted to make it like a Joan Jett, hard rock and roll type of song. And I was shocked with what Suno came up with. Of course, a lot of people, including Omashar, are a little upset with Suno because they work so hard, spend so much money to compose a really great song. And, this song, it's $8 a month to make as songs you want. So I'm not saying that I'm a songwriter, but it just came out exactly how I imagined it to be, never suspecting there would be an AI app that can help me express the words that this song encompasses. So this song is called Did You See It? And I played it for Danny Sheehan. I said, Danny, let's make this the Disclosure anthem. He kind of laughed it off, but it's kind of fun.
I think it's great. Now, there's no visual with it. So
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to go to gallery view while you play it so we can all kind of just watch each other's reactions to
But
it.
is there any kind of setting I need to do on my
Just make sure that you've got share sound clicked.
share sound? Okay, let me. Well, I'm just going to play it.
In other words,
Right.
start playing it on your computer,
Okay.
and then the same way you just share screened Nick Pope video, you share screen the audio from that as you're playing it, but you share screen it so it comes through.
Okay, let me see how it goes. Let's see how this goes. You don't hear that, do you?
No.
All right, so I have to share screen with my music app, you're saying?
Yeah, open it up on your computer so you're playing it, and then the same way you share screen.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I think this is what you mean. Okay, there, you see that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Now let me put my sound up a bit. Okay, here we go. And let me try it again.
Did you see it?
You hear that?
Yes.
Good?
Yeah, but a little bit louder.
Did you see it now?
Do you click share sound when you put it in?
Here it is. Okay, here it goes.
Here we go.
Did
Yeah.
you see it? It won't be long. Did you see it? You jump onto this song. Are we the masters of the earth and masters of our fate, or the puppets of history? We just have to wait. Did you see it? Come on, baby, we are the human race. Hey, it lost scary alone. Let me see your face. Hey, baby, back to my play. Wanna see it? What's the last chord? Hey, man, don't be a bore. Hey, people, let's get some more. Hey, humans, what's this earth for? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Look into the sky, all humans of Earth, whatever you know or whatever's been known, a new day is dawning beyond what's been told. The cosmos alive, full of beings of mind, says witnesses of ships of the third kind. Dimensions colliding as the frequencies shift. Old fears are suddenly fading. You better start loving or you'll miss the great gift. For the timelines, they are changing. Did you see it? Once more. Did you see it? Who's keeping score? Let's love and bring it all to the fore. Government, bring on the truth. Hey, Congress, let's stop the shoot. Hey, media, give us a choice. Hey, people, maybe they're here, beware or rejoice. Rejoice, and it's clear. It's coming our way. Did you see it? it? Hey, yeah, what's up? Did you see it now? Did you see it? It's shooting along. Wow. Did you see it? It won't be long. Did you see it? You jump onto this song. Are we the masters of the earth?
Okay.
Woohoo!
It's a little heavy rock.
I loved it. Let's. I'm sure there's gonna be some messages in the chat
But
box
you
about it.
know, it'd be really great if I could get a singer to actually perform that at some big UFO rally. That would be very satisfying to
Yeah.
get a major sing. I have more that I'll play in some other shows. The Suno's been really good to me because
Suno is amazing. Karen S, who's in our audience right now, she made for Martin Luther King Day a beautiful song, very global peace tribe oriented. And oh my God, it sounded like Judy Holliday singing it. I mean, it was amazing what Suno does.
right. I have a song that sounds like Frank Sinatra. I want to play you next time. It's called Impossible Things. Actually, I'll put that in the chat here so people can listen to it because I know you have enough music on this show. But this is my favorite song I've written. And I wrote this thing called Impossible Things based on that Julie Andrews songs. These are a few of my favorite things.
Right.
And it came to me years before Suno and said, oh, well, how am I going to make music like this? Because a production like you just heard would cost like $50,000 in a studio or more. That
Right.
cost me $8 a month to do this. And so this Impossible, this was sort of my favorite, but I'll play it on one upcoming
No,
show.
let's do it next week. Let's do it next Saturday.
Impossible Things. That is and then I just made a short 90-second film for the Illuminate Film Festival, the Micro Film Festival, based on an interview I did with the Malmos that I turned into poetry through ChatGPT and then put into Suno to write a song for. And I illustrated that, their words, in the form of a music video for Illuminate.
Do you have that? Is that video done?
It's done, but I want to see if Illuminate accepts it for their festival, and then if I'll show it if it does or it doesn't. But
Great. Yeah, and we always collaborate with Illuminate. So
yeah,
the chat box is suggesting Eden to sing that song for you.
can she get really wild and outrageous like that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's do it at the New Living Expo, which is going to be a great.
But Eden's coming with me to the expo. We're going to be hanging out there together. So let's all three of us have lunch and talk about it.
All right. I'd love to see someone like Eden do this song. That would be, I mean, we can go to all the big UFO conferences and perform this song.
It'd be great. I think Eden would love it. It's a great idea. So thank you. Kathy, thank you for that suggestion. All right, well, we need to move on.
Thank you, Scott, for your time.
Adam,
Expo.
Thank you for your time. Looking forward to being with you next weekend, all weekend long. And are you going to stick around tonight, or do you got to run?
Well, I always hear with the Hertogs, if they said if you need a little extra guest to fill in, they're happy to say hello for a few minutes.
I would love to have them drop on in. See if they can come on in maybe about 1 hour.
Okay, I'll do that. So I'll come back and forth. Okay, thanks. Scott.
Great. All right, talk to you soon. Well, we have a new guest, a new friend, and her name is Heather, and she is a bright, bubbly, dynamic being, that's for sure. And so now that's funny. I'm trying to replay. There she is. That's why I couldn't put you on. Now, Heather, I'm noticing that all of a sudden your internet during our presenters meeting, it was great. But right now it's really, really wonky. Can you close any other programs on your computer? Your internet was terrific during our pre-production meeting, but right now it's pretty wonky. And yeah, we can't even hear you. So see what you can do. You know what, while you're doing that for a minute, I'm going to remind everybody that we are definitely wanting to promote the New Living Expo, all the people you're seeing, like Heather that you're about to meet. are going to be featured presenters at the expo. And so if at all possible and you can make it there, it's in San Rafael next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And while Heather kind of gets it together, let me tell you a little bit about her. I'll read a little bit about her. Heather Taylor D'Amico is a visionary ultrapreneur, not intra, but ultrapreneur. She's a published author and an intuitive channel located up in Mount Shasta. She triumphed over a decade. She was in a wheelchair and had an extraordinary healing journey, which I'm imagining we're going to hear all about it. And that has inspired thousands of individuals also seeking to overcome whatever challenges they may have. Sound healing is a big part of her work. And she works with many modalities, including a quartz singing bowl. She also has a wonderful partner, Ben D'Amico, and together with the Divine Bowls, she became the first person to infuse an existing wellness product line into quartz singing bowls. So I'm sure we're going to hear about that. They're called the Pure Fect Balance Teas and Sprays, and we'll learn a little bit about that. If we can hear her well. So, Heather, I'm going to try bringing you up again and see, but you need to turn your camera on.
It's better. You got me?
There you are. Ah, you switched to an iPhone. Okay.
Yeah,
if you're going to use an iPhone, turn it sideways so we can see, so it fills the picture. There we go.
better?
It is better. A little bit echoey, but the internet's connection is good.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead and grab my earbuds, or are we good to go?
It'll be okay because we need to move on.
Time to honor that for you.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we are going to need your earbuds. It's pretty echoey. So go get the earbuds. And while she's doing that, I see there's a lot going on in the chat box. So I'm going to read some of the comments. A lot of people are loving the song. The name of the AI program is called Suno, S-U-N-O. Just go to Google and put in Suno. It's amazing. My good buddy Jonathan Robinson's done several songs through it. Karen S.'s song we played on the show was through that. It's really quite spectacular. And I see a lot of people commenting on Joan Jett. So clearly she was popular with a lot of our global peace drivers. Shauna uses Suno for her original melodies. No?
I have to say, it's a miracle what comes out of Suno. It is the best collab AI I've had. Yes.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. How do you make out there, Heather?
We're going to.
You know, your internet is still really wonky.
How about now? How are we doing?
It's not great.
That's great.
Well, you're a little bit foggy and fuzzy.
That is so interesting. I guess Spirit is just having a mind of its own today.
Yeah, I don't know if your internet, if other people were using the internet.
No, it's just me.
Okay. There's a lot of noise. Do you have your headphones in? No. Well, all right. This happens sometimes, you know what I mean? You know what? I'm going to go to Tony Ghazi while Heather kind of works it out. Maybe we'll have better time when a little bit later. So Tony Ghazi's back with us. We first met Tony through Soul Search and our beloved Tangela. In fact, Tangela will be my co-host next week. Tony will be coming live from the expo. And right off the bat, our beloved Charlotte has a question for you. So Charlotte, turn your camera on. And I'm going to go to her question first. But let me just tell people a little bit about Tony. He's a trans-channel author and a leadership guide, known for his transmissions from the praying mantis beings of the Antares Stargate. Now, definitely I'll have you explain to everybody what that means and all about that, because it's fascinating. Tony's work bridges the mystical and the practical, activating embodied awareness beyond words. Through voice, frequency, and presence, Tony catalyzes the remembrance rather than teaching concepts. He helps individuals and leaders, that's all of us, align our purpose, coherence, and authentic expression. His transmissions awaken inner leadership and restore connection to the intelligence of our own body and breath. He's worked with a lot of creatives, he's a man in demand. So we're happy to have you with us. And let's go to Charlotte's question first, and then I'd love to hear a little bit more about, the praying mantis beings. But here is our beloved Charlotte.
Hi.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi. I'm so excited you were here. Literally maybe about 45 minutes, half an hour before the show. I'm struggling with a dilemma. And I was like, I wish there was a mantis channeler on the show tonight, and you were here for real. So, for real. So, yes, I'm very thankful. 10 years ago, this is going into the 11th year that I've been in my home. And in the fall of that first year, there was a praying mantis in the butterfly bush, and I noticed it across the yard. And it was very big, very pregnant, and it was eating a live beetle, and it was just the most fascinating thing, getting ready to pass its big belly. And so I was so fascinated, kept getting closer, 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 closer. I was like taking pictures with my phone. I was so fascinated. And then all of a sudden she stopped and looked right at me, like I can't even imitate the presence and the directness of and I said, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. I'm just admiring you. I just am admiring your beauty, and I promise I mean no harm, and I'll protect your babies, and I'm going to go away and leave you alone for a little bit. But then I came back and checked on her and took more pictures and kind of promised that I would look after her. So generation after generation for the last decade, I have been the steward of, it's a little bit emotional story, but anyway, of her lineage. So like next year I see all the little babies, and like, I knew your mom, I knew your grandma, so on and so forth. Right? So, and I have very much protected them and had a relationship for sure with the mantis nations, and they're very thriving in my very small urban backyard, but very high biodiversity, very alive, I'm very blessed in my little space. But it came to my attention last year in the fall that they are an invasive species. There are this particular type, and they're sitting in the butterfly bush in the fall, and they're eating the butterflies out of the bush. And the monarchs, which are also very special, and I have a very special relationship with the monarchs as well, anyway, and in terms of like migration and all of the the native species and all of this. So I have this dilemma now that they're harming the native species, and now I don't know what to do. And some people are suggesting I should remove the praying mantises, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to do right by all of the species, or just to leave them. But it's now very stressful because they're big. They can not only eat butterflies. I don't have, hummingbird feeders for a reason, because they could eat them too. They're big. Anyway, so I just feel like I don't know what to do, and I want to do right by everybody. And have I fulfilled a soul contract? What do I do?
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
I'm so happy to see you emotional, because what that tells me is you are connected.
Yeah.
There is a connection. And when you mentioned that moment where the mom looked to you, even for a microsecond, it was presence.
Yeah. Oh.
That was a remembrance.
Incredible.
That was a mirroring effect. Listen to me. Welcome to my world.
Okay.
Praying mantises they jolt people out of the old paradigm. That's at least the ones that I connect with. They are here because, oftentimes we desire to ascend and we want to expand. Well, this is an opportunity. As you're speaking, they said this is the most beautiful opportunity, a gift for you to begin to speak to both species, the butterflies and the insects, and comprehend what's occurring within them really is a reflection of our humanity. That until the day humans, unconditionally love everything and everyone and each other, then that will reflect back in that co-creation. But you do not need to wait for humanity to awaken. Yeah. You can awaken. So it's an opportunity for you to witness the world, what's happening in the world, atrocities and craziness and wars, and everything like this, like what's happening, and invite yourself to see that from an unconditioned loving place. How can you find love in what seems to be unlovable? And that will reflect back in the relationship that you're witnessing outside of you. Because everything is inside of us. Nothing is exterior of us. Praying mantises are quite, and I have chills, are quite extraordinary architects of consciousness. They're not even physical like the ones that I connect with, but we need, for our physical mind, we need to understand what that means. We have to have some sort of archetype, right? So the easiest archetype, or the like the most closest vibration, is of like the praying mantis insects. A beautiful invitation, literally, to allow you with empowerment, because their message is always, over and over again, empowering self and unconditional love for everything, and everyone, in every concept. So this is self-work. To begin to view both like species, the butterfly and the praying mantis insect. I mean, each of them on their own perhaps are conscious or unconscious to whatever like theme of exploration that they have. So it's important for you to purely like sit there and honor what's happening there as a co-creation between these like two consciousness. But then you, as the observer on the outside, it invites you to open your heart and then empower them through your mind, that although you witness them eating each other and all that stuff, that's the old paradigm. Begin to switch your mind, switch your frame, create a new story, and see how that plays out in connection with humanity too. How we see like the rest of the world and everything else that like society and like culture and like religion and your own stories have said, judge. No, the bad, the wrong and the right. Because in your question, you said, am I doing the right thing? There is no right. There is no wrong. An invitation to step into what that means beyond logic. The praying mantis beings are like surgeons of words. They go into the mind and allow you to comprehend why did you ask that question to begin with, regardless whether it's a praying mantis and a butterfly and that whole thing. There's a lot of this empowerment of self, but this is how we become again re-empowered and remember again our power, like the role as creators that we can create to affect and like mirror back where we are. And I'm gonna say this: what war is brewing or has been brewing within yourself? Because they're also mirrors to us. Yeah. Right? So everything is an invitation when you begin to become conscious, and a slight little shift of consciousness allows the whole dismantling of the old paradigm of ego, of fear stories, of whatever, like things that are embedded in us by childhood, through like social media, this constant barrage of fear, you know? So there's a lot here to unpack, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And this is what self-work is. This is what enlightenment is. Witnessing that and like going through it with your heart open, with compassion, allowing you to see beyond the logic, beyond the mind, and like this is them, but through the frequency of the heart, what the mind isn't able to attain. The mind and the logic is a construct. It's a prison, it's a box that has like all these set of belief systems. The heart is unlimited in nature and is unknown to us, and it scares the shit out of us. And the mind needs to understand in order to allow the heart to like surrender. Well, it's not going to work. It's important for you to surrender into what you do not know and allow the consciousness of the unknown to reveal to the mind what the mind isn't able to comprehend. So begin to reframe what you witnessed as a gift from God, because God is everywhere, in everything. Even the things that we say God doesn't exist. I'm Lebanese.
Okay.
In case many of you haven't known. You guys know what's happening in Israel, in like Lebanon, in Iran. But a lot of other countries, this is not new, like to humanity. These wars and things. Even in those, everything is an invitation to see God everywhere. Because if we believe death doesn't exist, right? Like many of us in the spiritual like community like say, oh, like death like doesn't exist, like we're infinite beings, like we're energy. Well, if you really comprehend that, truly comprehend it, what that means, then what is war to begin with? There's no death. We're living forever. We're just changing costumes. So why are these roles being played? That's the question. To allow the heart to open, to allow you to see from a different lens, beyond separation, beyond forgetfulness, allow you to tap into really the heart, the frequency of the heart, not the logic, not the Disney fantasy idea of what the world told us love is. Really dive deeper. What wars are happening within myself that these beautiful beings are reflecting back to me? Because listen, we are the engine of creation. This physical body, this actual consciousness that because I have forgotten that I'm the infinite source, I see myself as this identity, as this man, like my name is Tony, I'm this physical body. It's a small layer, but underneath layer is infinite consciousness. So when you begin to understand what you're witnessing outside of you is a creation of your consciousness, why is that being created for me? And that inquisitive nature, that like intention to find out more, just that alone begins to reorchestrate the universe in ways, synchronicities will begin to happen in ways that are magical. And you'll begin to see what was once like these beings like eating each other begin to co-create like with each other. Like it's insane. It's a gift for you to see manifestation right in front of your eye by your own creation. Everything is, but we're not conscious of it because we're so disempowered. We've been so trained to disempower ourselves, consciously or unconsciously, you know?
Thank you.
Yes.
And, you know, that's something I think we can struggle with. And I think the ego mind can play into that too. Because I'm trying to do the least harm and, you know, be in tune with nature. But then is it my place to disrupt nature, to take one away or to, you know? And so again, it's that being stuck in the struggle, right?
Yes. Harm doesn't exist. Be mindful of the words that you use. Harm doesn't exist. There's an experience of, because we've forgotten, there's an illusionary aspect of the infinite shades of the infinite, but they're experiences. They're not reality in the sense of the creator. Like you are a creator, in period. Like the infinite exists within you. So how do we begin to remember that we are infinite beings? Like through like the praying mantis, they say you become conscious of the infinite shades of everything. So what you're witnessing, although it's traumatic, like to the mind, it's traumatic to the unconscious aspect of you, is a form of creation. Creation is a shade of creation. So how do you honor that as is? Not to try to fix it, not to try to do this, because nothing is broken to begin with. The mantis being say, shall you ever be broken? Shall any other consciousness ever be broken? You just aren't able to create. But yet everyone is creating, everything is creating all the freaking time. Why? Because we're infinite, indestructible beings. Now, through your free will choice, whether you're conscious or unconscious of it, you get to experience the infinite shades of. So even in this moment, when you pose that question, you perhaps have like forgotten aspects of things and disempowered yourself. And because of that, the gift that you received is you witnessed that act of war. It allowed your heart to open with compassion. I'm getting chills again. It allowed your heart to feel a shade of love, a shade of protection. all of it serves the infinite. All of it allows the infinite to remember itself as the infinite. So when you begin to remember all of that, that it's all experiential, and I, the lens of God, because you are a lens of God, through your experience of witnessing that, feeds back to God for him, her, it to see itself through you. That's how each and every one of us are precious. But we're not taught we're precious. We're taught there's morality, there's right or wrong, there's this, like, you know, if
Recycle, don't do this, like all the things, yeah.
Totally, but the ego will fight because the ego has been taught to be to be enlightened. You have to be on this side of the spectrum. I'm happy, I'm like meditating, I'm sending love to the world, I'm light, I'm love. Yes, that's amazing. Light already knows itself as light. The darkness, the aspect that has forgotten, is the one that craves the light, because also darkness is a shade of light. Darkness isn't like this black abyss of, it's a shade of light, simply has forgotten. So it's those aspects that push us into the light, allows you to see and to also honor what darkness is, because darkness is also being created. Who is creating it? God, whatever that is, whoever that is. But why is it being created? Yes, the immense beings are always the architects of bringing everything back to unconditional love. And I mean love without conditions. Yeah. Without conditions. We do not comprehend what that is yet. We're inching there. It begins with self. Because once you are unconditionally loving to whom you are, your whole story, everything that you've experienced, when you have the conscious awareness to love without condition, everything that makes you you, everything, from the moment you were conceived until the point you were here, every breath you took, every experience, everything that you witnessed, every judgment, every, you begin to see it as God. From that, when you love yourself unconditionally that much, your lens in which you see the world and everything outside of you, then will begin translated into unconditional love. Up to that point, the more we judge ourselves, we continue to see the world from the lens of judgment. But even that is also awakening through the meant to always bring it back. There is no really judgment from the idea that we think it is. Everything is serving, and everything, I'm going to say this quickly, is of equal value to everything else. The depth of darkness, the most evil thing, anything can happen, is of the same value as the height of awakening. That is, because the moment you say this is less than that, or like the moment you say there's a, I am trying to attempt to get to that destination because where I am today is not enough, that's judgment, that's separation. Right. But it's a jolt to the mind to say, how can the most evil thing that can happen on earth is of equal value to creation as the most beautiful thing? That's the work. That's the dismantling of what we were taught through religion, education, and parents, and blah, blah, blah. The right or wrong, there isn't. And that's how you begin to integrate all of those pieces into wholeness, to begin to see yourself as whole. And from that, the lens will change. You begin to see the wholeness in everything. That's utopia. Thank you for that question. That was absolutely
I had no idea what Charlotte was going to ask. And it's led to quite a conversation. I want to read some comments from our audience.
Sure.
And I'm going to keep you on camera if you don't mind, Charlotte.
Okay.
Because we're getting different responses.
No doubt.
Thea Therese writes, wow, I really resonate with Tony. Yes, beyond good and bad, right and wrong, into unconditional love. This Lebanese man speaks truth. Namaste, blessings. Mentia adds, two of my closest women friends are 100% Lebanese. They live the same message. And she points out that Dr. Kat Lewis teaches this similar through Nassim Harameyn's science and through Vedanta. Eleanor Joy writes, the gist of the message from me is to not look outside for what should I be doing, but to reflect on my heart. Why is this happening, for a deeper inner awareness? She's asking you, is she on the right track? Is that what you're suggesting, Tony?
Sorry, do you mind saying that one more time? Like, who's on the right track?
So I just read a comment from Eleanor.
Yeah.
Okay, she said the gist of the message for me is
Yes.
to not look outside for what I should be doing, but to reflect on my heart and why this is happening for a deeper inner awareness.
Yes, everything is a reflection back to us. Everything is occurring. The men's being said this, at one of the shows. They said, imagine you walk outside of your home today. Everything that you see, the planes, the leaves, the sun, the moon, humans, cars, everything that you see outside of you are ascended masters holding mirrors, literally holding mirrors, reflecting back to you what you are unable to see within your heart. When you comprehend that beyond the logic and realize that I am surrounded by ascended masters everywhere, every mirror is designed literally back to me. What a beautiful world.
Yeah.
We become conscious of, wow, I have orchestrated and I have chills, all these ascended masters, literally, each and every one of them are a way back for me to find myself. Just sit that for a moment, and that's precisely what, like what the woman said, and I forgot her name. I'm sorry. Exactly, everything is an invitation. But when we don't see it that way, then we play the role of not seeing it. But that in itself is of equal value as everything else.
So I love what you're saying, but I want to also just to ask.
Sure.
Ayada asks, what, harm does not exist? What about all the people who are suffering right now in the war zones? And I'll add, how do we know that what you're saying, which by the way, I resonate with it, but just to play the other side,
Yeah.
how do we know that that's not spiritual bypassing and avoiding our inability to be present to the very real suffering of the world? And maybe even the very real suffering we cause ourselves.
Yeah. So look, I'm super happy that you asked that question, because the Mantis beings, and look, a lot of the teachings like that I do are are things that I have lived. Like last year, and I've only been connecting with them guys for about 4 years. I'm quite new to this, but I've like light speeded, away into like where I am today. So like they told me last year it is like time for you to walk the talk. Like they brought all these teachings and to answer the question, I'm sorry, it's like there's so much to share. I feel like I'm all over the place. All truths are true. The Mantis beings always teach. Just because you hear me like say this, like through them, this is one truth of many infinite truths. And your belief systems and where you are, the lens in which you are seeing the world, is a valid reality, is a valid truth of equal value as everything else. So there isn't really one thing, one answer. And I always tell my people, if you ever hear a teacher say, this is the way, or I am prophet, or whatever the absolutism, run the other direction. There is no absolutism. There is no one absolute. Everything is a shade of all of the infinite. So on your conscious awakening, when you become more conscious of, when you become more integrated with everything, when you begin to see yourself in everything, when I hug a tree, in that moment, I have activated codes within myself as that tree. Like in that moment, I am one with that tree. That's an integration moment. But up to that point, to where I became like conscious to hug a tree, there was distance. So like through the idea of like war, and like when we see suffering, suffering is an aspect. The experience of suffering is an aspect that allows you to feel the form and shade of what that means. It is a reality, but it's not a reality from the sense that the logical mind thinks suffering is. Because when you fully surrender into the frequency of suffering, you find God there. There's a creation energy that's creating all these words, all these labels like suffering and unhappiness and like depression and like suicidal thoughts or whatever it is, So there is an element of us that we're unable to comprehend yet. We use these words, but in that moment of our creation, that word becomes everything. Even the word suffering is like so real that I'm feeling suffering, I'm feeling the pain, I'm feeling my heart being broken, I'm seeing victimhood, I'm seeing this and that. Yes, in that moment. But when you stretch your heart and go beyond what the logic constructed suffering is, You literally will find God right then and there. It's just energy, flame of creation. Hopefully it's helpful.
Well, this is a dynamic conversation.
Totally. It's now one way. There's no absolutism. It's always like
And I
shifting
agree.
from-
Don't run from anybody who says this is the only way. Absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
Well, I want to direct people to where they can get more of Tony, because he obviously has a lot of beautiful things to share. I'm going to share a few things. I've put all this in the chat box, but especially for those of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, he has a Patreon page. And, Patreon is a wonderful way for us to support a lot of our people you see on the show. We support Kristen Hoffman and Nina Gray and many others through Patreon. And so if you go to patreon.com/CW/The Voice of the Invisible and become a member. And of course, there are different membership options for as low as $22 a month. You can start a 7-day free trial. And it's so important for us to support our artists, our teachers, our presenters. And really, $22 a month is so little for the wisdom of somebody like Tony. I also want to direct people to his main website. Maybe, Tony, you can share this a little bit about what you want people to know.
Sure.
His website is his name, Tony, and it's spelled Toni, Ghazi, GHAZI.com, TonyGhazi.com. Tony, what would you like me to show on your website here?
Yes, I mean, like this is more than enough. I've had so many channeling sessions over the past, like that I've conducted for people for the past like 2 years, that it became so overwhelming, like that I just like closed my books for the rest of the year, and I'm kind of increasing my price to reduce just the amount of like coming in, and like that's the reason like that I created like Patreon, because it's extremely affordable, and like we can spend 2 to 3 hours where I can channel the immense beings, like people can really dialogue with them, like they'll answer them like directly, and like that's the best way that I can create like my own community and just really like truly like give access to everyone who can like attend. I also make praying mantis crystal skulls. I'm the only one in the world. They're on my website, literally. Yeah, amazing carver. I'm crazy enough like to do that. They're on my website, but if you go there, it will say sold out because like they sell out fast. But like you can DM me or like send me an email, and I can show you like what I have. I mean, there's so much about my history like to share. I'm not sure like what else to say. I'm a realtor. I've been selling real estate for 17 years, and I still do that. I do the woo-woo life, which is this like very channeling, like extreme alienship, out of this world, and like their messages are off the charts. And I also teach corporate. I've been called like to work with corporations and leaders to help them lead from the heart, lead consciously like from the heart. And it takes, so like when you're dealing with board members and investors and like vendors and your staff and everything, how do you lead if you're like a conscious leader from the heart when everybody else perhaps isn't? So I am the bridge, in that. I'm gonna appear on Gaia soon. I was filmed like a few months ago. I have a documentary coming out on Amazon in like the first year. I'm like one of 6 executive coaches. I'm the woo-woo crazy insane guy, out of the box guy. There's a lot going on. I have a book that I haven't even published. I have it, but I've been so busy. I've had so many events. I don't know what else to say. I mean, like my history.
That's okay, Tony. People have it. We've put it in the chat box, and you don't have to go through the history now.
Amazing.
I do want to. There is one more question for you.
Sure.
And I want to address because I'm really appreciating what Ayada has written about. I won't read the whole thing, but she talks about kind of her point of view, and I agree with you, Ayada. I think what you're saying is beautiful. And remember, we all have our own unique journey of living, our own unique journey of awakening.
Yes.
And I think just remember, it is important, even though on one level, all suffering is a dream world. Okay, one level, it's a cosmic dream. But we always have to have empathy and compassion for the suffering and for the people who are suffering, including ourselves. So it's kind of like have one foot in the reality that Tony's been pointing to, that it's all part of consciousness, it's all part of, call it God, call it, existence, and it all has equal value. But at the same time, having compassion and empathy for the very real suffering that's taking place. And obviously, to learn lessons of love, including being present to the suffering and reducing those choices we might make, which further suffering. There's a question, Tony, that I want to ask you, and then we got to move on because we still have,
Of course.
Maria Martinez, and
Of course.
and we haven't even gotten to Laurie Speed, who's going to play 2 musical numbers. So it's going to be a long show, everybody. But it's a question from Dorina Joy put a great picture of a praying mantis in. The question is from Dorina Joy. How are the mantises different from the other advanced beings and galactic friends like the Pleiadians, Lyrians, Arcturians, etc.?
How long do we have? So I'm assuming when you ask how are they like different, that you mean like perhaps are they physical? Do they, right?
What dimension, I guess.
Okay. Got it. Thank you for saying that. Listen, I know what I know, and I cannot tell you how I know it. When I get these downloads, I don't read books, guys, just so you guys can know. And like the reason like that I'm saying that is I don't have in my bank of knowledge all this information. When I receive, I literally don't read books. When I went to college, I skimmed through books just because we had to. Apart from that, I just don't sit and read. I'm like an audio guy. And a like visual guy, but I'm like super busy that I don't even have time. So the point that I'm saying is I haven't read the information that I'm like about to share, and there isn't any knowledge. There are not books about mantis beings or anything of that sort. So I had to trust my own intuition of like what they are like sending me. Like the beings that I connect with are not physical. The best way that I can describe it through their way of helping my brain understand like who they are. They literally are consciousness that are intertwined in every potential reality, and they're like it's almost like the internet, how like we know that there's the internet out there and there's all this knowledge, but we don't know, it's not tangible. Like how can you make like the internet tangible? It's almost like that. They are consciousness that live and are conscious and are aware of the infinite probabilities of all creations. They help and work like with other beings to assist in the reorchestration of, they don't interfere, but like their presence, like they're almost seeds awakening consciousness for each being to awaken on their own. Like they don't push certain beings to awaken. Like they don't interfere. So their presence, like when you see them like with the grays oftentimes, right? Many people said, oh, if there's like a gray, gray alien, like abduction, like you see always praying mantises, like, in the back, they're there only as like witnessing like what's happening, but their presence allows the fabric, the like memory of their field, because everything is really conscious. Like nothing is really hard and like solid. It's just the lens in which we see the world, or like the beings do, depending on their field, they experience things like differently. They use sound, they use color, and then they use like light frequency to create literally like universes and new realities. Like songs, they create and things begin shifting and like reforming. Words are hard to describe how they are. We don't have words to even to like describe what I go through when they like take me through these crazy experiences. And they're always reminding me that even though I have experienced them through my lens, even though I am describing to you who I think they are, that is still a limited version of my own filter.
Thank
They're
you.
very
You're doing a beautiful job of describing the indescribable. You really are. You're doing a beautiful
thank
job.
you, because literally it's so yeah. But oftentimes when I'm in like the channel state, and I have people like that are sensitive, you feel the energies and you are receiving a lot of data that goes beyond words. Again, like nothing is absolute, and even them, and I know that, and I even tell people I don't know like how long I will channel like the praying mantises. I don't know how like my life is gonna divert into some other being or some other new like concept of what beings are. I'm very aware of it, and they remind me all the time. So I truly say all like all this stuff like with a grain of salt, like knowing that things are shifting and reforming every microsecond. So by the time you pose the question and I'm beginning to answer, the whole universe has shifted into a new reality. So what is truth? This is where I like go back to the idea all truth are true, and the lens in which you see your world, the lens in which you comprehend the world is valid for you and is real and is everything and is for you like to discern, right? So even the question about like the war and like suffering. So your experience of what you think suffering is your path, is your reality, is everything in that moment, is one truth of the billions of truths. But on your path, as you awaken and stretch your heart and stretch your mind and stretch whatever, that will shift and form and like change. But all of it is really like designed to be able to see God consciousness in everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I encourage everybody. You'll find his social media. I put it into the chat box as well. So go to his Patreon, go to his website. Tony, thank you so much for being with us tonight. All the way from Washington, D.C., I might add.
That's right.
Charlotte, any final thoughts based on your experience tonight?
Thank you. I feel like this has really laid a dilemma to rest. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
And yeah, yes to everything. I will definitely listen again, but the message is so deep and profound and has given me great peace. So thank you.
Well, how amazing that you said, God, I really hope the praying
I
mantis.
hope there's a mantis channeler, and there was. Yeah, that in itself is a gift.
Talk
So
about
yeah,
manifestation, exactly.
yeah, for sure. Thank you. And the
Love
fact
you,
that he's
Charlotte.
like adorable is even better. So thank you. Mwah.
Well, with all that, we need some music to integrate it. And I am so grateful. Just as you needed the mantis person, we all need the beautiful piano maestro music of Lorianne Speed to just integrate all that we've heard. So she, of course, has been on the show recently. You may also remember she's the mother of our beloved Tatiana Speed, who's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks again. And Lorianne, thank you. Anything you want to share about what you've seen tonight? What has stood out for you so far tonight?
Well, the amazing universe we live in. Oh my goodness, right? Just the synchronicity for the last person. That beautiful. I really loved the way that he was explaining how he was downloading, and I so get that as a clairvoyant. I totally I get it's not in our database. It comes from somewhere else. And so I love that explanation or that sharing about how he was getting all the information and sharing it from that place of really universal mind or wisdom mind if you're Buddhist, or from entities. And like we get this information from so many different places. And I love that explanation, actually, that sharing.
And is it similar to how you bring through your music?
Yes, it's a deep listening. Thank you for everything. I think there's one thing there's one thing I've accomplished in life. It might be deep listening because definitely the music also comes through receiving. It's not from reaching or grasping or searching or seeking. It's really a receiving. It's a ability perhaps to be in a creative field, an energy field, perhaps, but it can go by many names, I guess, but really that ability to tune in the radio LA, Radio Lorianne. It's like a
Right.
signal.
Well, it's so good to have you with us, Lorianne. She's, of course, coming to us from Vancouver. After she plays, we'll take a look at her website. It's her name, Lori, Lori, and Speed. And Lorianne, I'm ready to just drop in and let you take us away.
Definitely need some music. It really is a great way to integrate. I'm, of course, a pianist, so it's nonverbal, so you really can just let the full spectrum of frequencies, which a piano is, just help you integrate and rest with what you've been hearing. This piece I'm going to play, I'm a composer, and this piece is called Somewhere in Time, and it's part of a much bigger mosaic of a program that I developed for a concert, but within that program comes Somewhere in Time, and it points to the fact that somewhere in time, everyone sees the beauty of their soul. So this is Somewhere in Time.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, Lorianne. Every time I listen to your music, it just takes me away. And I can see all the hearts that are coming up from people. I'm going to read just a few of the comments and then go to her website. Dorina Joy writes, "Isn't that wonderfully ironic and beautifully unfolding? This beautiful soul learning of Tony and this exquisite music coming together." Shoshana writes, "Timeless, exquisite, enchanting." Eleanor Joy writes, "Your music is extremely beautiful." Carol writes, "Absolutely heavenly. Thank you, Lorianne." Ayada writes, "Lorianne, such deeply healing music of our bodies, hearts, souls. Thank you." Lorna writes, "So calming and transcendent." And all those things and more are my experience, Lorianne. And again, her website is loriannespeed.com. And there's the album she just played the title track from, Somewhere in Time. I love that photo of you. And definitely make sure that you join her mailing list. Click Stay Connected, and that'll take you to where you can put in your information, which I'll do for the 14th time. I think you have one of those websites that figures out not to send to the same person over and over. And of course, you can get her albums by going to the website. You can also play it on Spotify. So this is the place to go, loriannespeed.com. And she's going to
There's actually 6 albums streaming on all the streaming sites worldwide. 6 albums if you go there.
6 albums of this beautiful music. We need it, Lorianne. We need it.
Yeah, I actually released like 8 albums, but 6 are streaming now. So thank you. Yeah.
So I'll listen to those albums. Lorianne's going to be back shortly. We're going to listen to Heather. We're going to meet Heather, and we're going to meet Maria Martinez. Then we'll come back to Lorianne. And so we'll see you in a little bit, Lorianne. Thank you. Heather Taylor, Heather D'Amico. Now you're beautiful. Now you're in full internet glory. But you need to unmute. You need to unmute, dear. Oh, I'm not hearing you. Oh my gosh, this is too funny. Well, we see you laughing, and you're not muted, but for some reason your audio is not connected. Hello, hello. Do you know how to go into your audio settings? If you go, there's a little button to the right of the microphone on your computer. Oh,
Okay, can you hear me now?
now I can.
Good?
Yes.
Yay! It was the earbuds that are not mine.
Okay. All right.
You know what? It's a comedy show. In my world is a world of comedy. What I was saying is it was so beautiful to have Tony come on. He is dear to my heart. He is a presenter for a show I do in Lemurian Life Expo in Mount Shasta. And my granddaughter absolutely loves him to bits and remembers him from lifetime. So it was a great way for Spirit to just take a moment, ground, and then follow in with the most beautiful piano playing. So thank you, Spirit, for directing and designing our flow. I'm very grateful.
Beautiful. Well, tell us about you. This is your first time on our show. So tell us.
Yes. This is the first time even knowing about your show. So thank you. I'm so excited. I've heard so many beautiful things.
Absolutely. Well, share with us a little bit about your amazing healing experience.
Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question, Scott. There's many of those. Let's see, where do I start? I'll give a little short synopsis because there is so much. Let's see. I've had 5 near-death experiences, 3 as an adult. I was paralyzed in a wheelchair for 10 years and went back to school to learn to walk again. That's when I created the 5 Elements of You program. I've been a reader and intuitive since I was 5. It started with the church. I am Indigenous. My native name is Wa'apia from my grandfather, Matawa'apia Chikala, who is now passed. I am also Druid from the Celtic Indigenous. So I spent a lot of time after I started walking again in Ireland to learn my own Indigenous ways and go through that initiation as the Druids is the Indigenous in the European area. And I am just here to show up and be of service in the ways that Spirit guides me to be. And sometimes it's to not be heard and to not have good internet and to bring a pause. And that's okay. I love that. So, and that's just a snippet. I guess the other parts would be, oh my gosh, you guys, it's like I'm watching all of this and you were talking about suffering and pain and the things that come in and yeah, everything we experience is real. And I feel that I'm experiencing all my timelines at once. And the one that's coming through for me in the moment of now is that which is what I'm experiencing in my conscious awareness. And so it's such an honor to be in that part of myself and to be an example of that by always being open to learning. So I learned so much today from every person that has arrived, and I'm so honored. One of my passions and my love story is my business partner, Ben D'Amico. We call him the Bulls, right? We call him the Singing Bulls. And the reason is just he reminds me of Hanuman. You know, if you're familiar with the Hindu deities.
I love Hanuman.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Hanuman
He was
and
gifted.
Ganesh are my favorite.
He was gifted a Hanuman actually from a beautiful, beautiful Indian man who I just love. And Ben started working with the Bulls since 2012. No, actually a little bit before that, about 2010. I've been with the Singing Bulls since the early 90s, before the larger companies that are out today, because I was in a wheelchair and it had a lot of trauma. I was sold on the black market when I was 13 and escaped. And I have a lot of stories. There's a book. The book is called And So I Wait. It's coming out in 6 months. I also wrote a book with 261 other women called Mission Accepted. And it's about how there's no such thing as competition and that we can all be doing the exact same thing, but our souls and our energy of who we are brings it in its own way, which is so beautiful, right? And that book you can get anywhere. And we actually ended up going to the Oscars and really bringing in a new level of consciousness because so much of healing is being asked for by that community right now with everything that they've been faced with within their own selves. So what an honor. But back to the Bulls, Divine Bulls, which are the bulls you see behind me, was a passion of mine because I make products, as you'd mentioned, called Purific Balance. And those products were a huge, huge part of my healing journey, especially as a single mom with 5 kids, trying to get out of a wheelchair, going to school full time, and I didn't have much money. So I was making herbs and different types of supports for my kids that had migraines, and my son, who's 11 now, but when he was a baby, he was on a machine. And I didn't want him on a machine anymore. So I started making these things and creating that space. And it developed into its own company after I was bullied into starting a company by my mother, my adopted mother, which was amazing. And I was contacted by the actual original creators of the quartz crystalline Singing Bowls from 1975. And they created these bowls not for sound. They created these bowls, which they still do to this day, for the semiconductor industry, for aerospace, and for pharmaceuticals when they're making different types of herbs, supplements, medicine. And in the 80s, a man came and said, "Hey, these make sound. Can I buy these and sell them in the sound industry?" So these scientists said, "Sure, we'll sell them to you for sound." So they started selling these bowls for sound. And then another company came in the 90s, and then another one came in the late 90s, early 2000s, and really expanded it. And so after decades of these two twin sisters doing this, they came to Ben and I and basically said, "Hey, we don't want to do distribution anymore. We want to go direct to market, and we want to do something new. We've been doing this for decades. We still do semiconductor." And so that's when I said, "Hey, can you make custom bowls? Can you put medicine in the bowls?" And they said, "Yeah." So they developed a second stage process, and they created the different level of bowl. So this bowl is actually made of sacred geometry tea that I made for a friend of mine who wanted to have some geometry. So what's amazing is these are actually molecularly infused all the way through to its quartz, and it's really getting a lot of beautiful results. People are calling all the time telling us about the experiences that they're having with the different ingredients of the bowls. So that became a passion for me. My joy, my passion is to really promote what other people are doing in bridging the diversity of humanity. So how could I say no? You know, and that's where we started with the bowls. And it's a really amazing experience to witness how frequency is impacting consciousness on so many levels, like the piano players and the singers and the harpists. And now it's coming through in this beautiful form of medicine.
Will you be playing your bowls at the New Living Expo?
We will be playing the bowls at the New Living Expo. We'll have several booths, and we'll have different types of people that play different ways. What makes these bowls different from any other ones in the world is that you can actually put them underwater and play them underwater and hear them both underwater and on top of water. You can also pour any liquid in it, play it, and it changes its molecular structure and the flavor of the liquid, including water. So we'll be doing a lot of demonstrations and just showing that these women created these bowls in 1975 as scientists, and they are now going direct to market, and the true story of their experience of the bowls and how this seamless, one seam, beautiful method of frequency is being displayed.
Well, since we're talking a lot about the bowls, here's the website where you can learn about her bowls, and the website is divinebowls.love. Divinebowls.love. Each bowl emerging complete its infusion already within. And look at how gorgeous some of these are. Little difference, but they're really absolutely gorgeous.
We have vitamin D bowls that they're doing studies on and realizing that scientists are actually studying vitamin D, calcium, and trace mineral bowls and seeing how it's impacting the body's level with the trace minerals, calcium, and vitamin D, which is just freaking awesome. And for me, being a channeler, I do channel Ashra. I have Lumerian Life Expo. Ruben Langdon is one of my co-hosts, and we go on and we do that together. And we have Rob Guthier and Wendy Kennedy and Jamie Price, and we do all these channeling beautiful things together. It's amazing because it really brings me back to Tartaria, and it really brings me back to what the bells were all about. And that is such a sacred thing that is assisting us in remembering consciousness and who we actually are, rather than having to say, "Oh, how do I go to Lemuria?" It's like, hey guys, we're already here. We just need to come from our heart. We just need to be in that space and remember. And I feel like this is a really great opportunity to bring that into our consciousness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple comments and question from the audience. Shoshana writes, I commented that I like the bowls and they have a nice frequency. I can feel them singing. I've seen crystals singing in some cases, and now I'm seeing singing bowls singing. So that's beautiful. Dorina Joy says, what an amazing healing journey and beautiful sharing, Heather. what do you attribute how you got out of the wheelchair? That is by itself alone so incredible. How did you do that?
Okay. I know we will have to do some other interviewing that's longer next time, and then maybe I'll do some channeling and bring that in. But to keep it short, I know there's a limited time. Basically, it took a year and a half to move my big toe. So I went to 8 surgeons, and they said, you know, you need surgery. We need to put titanium from the base of your spine, from, you know, the base of my spine to my limbic system. And I had broke my back. I had right hip unleveling, herniated every disc in my spine but 2. I had seizures. I was on tons of meds. First thing I did was wheelchair into a pharmacist, which I had a dog who pulled me in my wheelchair because I was totally paralyzed on this side, and said, how do I get off this stuff? Like, that's number one. I had to get off the meds, and I had to be careful about how I weaned off because, you know, I had seizures and I was having these things happen. So I had to be cautious of how I was going to approach this. The other part that was really important in Sacred was, you know, I have all these surgeons, neurosurgeons saying, hey, there's nothing you can do. You have to have the surgery. And then I met this beautiful 8th surgeon who I cannot say his name. I promised I would never out him or he would lose his license. But he was from India, and he shut the door. And I was in my 20s. I mean, I'm not grandma now, but I was in my 20s when this happened. And he shut the door and said, look, if you go and find a way you can heal, you don't need the surgery. You don't do drugs. You're a healthy person. You know, I had 2 kids at the time, not 5. And so they were kind of telling me, you got to go find a way. So my friend Mauro, who's a music producer, he was producing Celine Dion's last album, actually. I think it was one of her last albums in Holland. And it was right before The Secret came out. And he was sitting at dinner and heard these people talking at a table next to him. And he went over and said, I have a dear friend of mine who is paralyzed in a wheelchair. She's a single mama. You know, how can I help her? I hear what you guys are talking about. So they went upstairs, and I actually have the very first burned DVD of The Secret ever done. And They brought it to him, and he said, bring it to her and she'll start her journey. And so that's what happened. He came back and gave me this DVD, and it just ignited this fire in me, which is part of what I teach, is the 5 elements of you. And the first element is fire. It's awareness. It's activation. And I was like, okay, the fire's in me. And the second element is all about water. It's about discernment and discerning how I'm experiencing my life, how I'm manifesting my external experiences, and where I'm actually at with that. And so then it was like, whew, there's the third one. And the third one is physical. Okay, that's the earth element. And the physical was like, I was paralyzed on the right side of my body. So it took a year and a half for me to tell my brain, to tell my arm, to tell my leg, to tell my foot, to tell my toe to move. But once I did that, the next step was getting over atrophy. And let's talk about suffering and pain. 5.5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, because it took years to heal, of telling your body to get over this atrophy, this moment of stagnation, of not moving, of stillness. It was very painful. But I have to say, you guys, it's like when you're moving through that part of your own awareness, when you're coming into that state of like, I am in the next level of me. And even though it hurts, it's like you feel that next step. So it's a different kind of pain, because it's this pain of understanding self-awareness. It's this pain of understanding that you're moving into this growth of self. And it was really powerful. And then after getting into that, because earth is not just about the physical body, it's also about, you know, your own value and your self-worth, and really working with that solar plexus and how that's evolving. And then next step is like, okay, I love them all, but my favorite one is the containment, because it's air. And to move with the wind and our ancestors and how they communicate, like, you guys, go sit outside and just be with that wind and talk to it. I mean, it really gives you a feeling, whether it's a cool breeze or a big wind. Sometimes I'll just sit with it and say, hey, can you give me a little extra? And I feel like air, the wind, that thing that we have but we can't see, is containment. It's bringing the three elements into self and really being with the spiritual being of you, because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. As we come into that, then we have the fifth element. And that fifth element is exciting. It's like that inner child, that little fairy coming out. Why? Because now we get to take all those four elements and put it into choice. Now we get to select how we experience. We get to select who we choose to be with and how we choose to be. And that's really where the biggest lesson came in for me, was because I was aware that, okay, guys, I'm in a wheelchair and little kids were scared of me. My two daughters, they were spending all their recesses and lunches with all the disabled children and the autistic children. And I thought, oh my gosh, my kids are, in there because that's just who we are, which was true. But they were being bullied because their mom was in a wheelchair. People were afraid of me, little kids. I'd have to say, it's just my stroller. So there was a lot of external overcoming in my own self to like bring the joy of that, so that how I was experiencing the world was now a different reality for me. Why? Because I chose it. Because I was choosing that.
Wow, that's a beautiful, beautiful, powerful story. And thank you. It's very inspiring for all of us. We need to move on. So I'm going to show one last thing. It looks like you've got a really, really fun program here called Get Tailored.
Yes.
And the website is gettailored.love. And it looks like a series of podcasts with you. And is that with you and one particular friend, or is that with you and a wide variety of people?
So Ruben Langdon, now Ruben is in Japan, but it was Ruben Langdon and I for the first year and a half or so. And then I took a break because I have a movie that's going to be coming out in theaters near you in 2028 called And So I Wait, which is about my life story. And I was really focused on all of those things. So we took a pause, but actually the same time that Deborah and Neil are doing their show from 4 to 6, or 4 to 7, you can hop on at 7 and see Get Tailored, Form Fit Yourself to Your Soul. And it's called Get Tailored Revived with Adriana Farina with Revival Beauty. And we will be doing shows every week. And if you want to come on the show, it's really just about, hey, we're also human. Let's enjoy that and be real with it and be in our authentic selves and share about how to move through our lives every day.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Well, that's at gettailored.love. And I like that both your websites are at .love. Heather, we made it happen. It took a little while, but
I know.
It happened. Thank you so much for being on The Awakening World. And I look forward to meeting you next weekend at the New Lake.
Yes, and I'm a hugger, and I'll probably have my dog with me too. So
well, I'll have my little one. She's right here in the bed. She jumped up and was with me for a little while during, I think it was during Tony. Anyway, I'll see you next weekend, and thanks.
Thank you. Blessings, and thank you guys all for your patience and kindness through the directions of spirit. We're grateful.
It all worked out. Thank you.
It did. Thank you.
All right. We have one more presenter, and it's Maria Martinez. And I see her note taker. Where are you?
Here I am.
Here she is. Yay.
Everybody.
Hi, Maria. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Thank you for having me. I just been feeling the love from everybody that's been on the show, everything that they've been sharing, all the wisdom, and it's been such an honor. Beautiful Heather Taylor, Tony Gassi, everybody else that's been in the show, Debbie and everybody. It's been so amazing. So thank you for having me on today.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you're with us again. For those of you might remember, she was on once before with us, but I'm going to read a little bit about her. Maria was born awake into a shamanic lineage, initiated at the age of 8, and began formal shamanic training at 18. She carries a profound connection to consciousness energy, and multidimensional realities. She's a cosmic weaver, an architect of divine sovereignty, and a quantum alchemist. She guides individuals to remember their highest potential and consciously embody the life they were designed to live. So let's start with what is divine sovereignty? Please tell us what that is and how we achieve it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I want to kind of point out different things that everybody's been talking about because they've been really talking about that. They've been talking about things that I picked up from other people that were talking about or sharing their message. You know, you and then what you reflect out into the world and what the world reflects back to you. So, what is cosmic sovereignty in when we look at that theme or that perspective or that idea? Cosmic sovereignty is moving out of this is happening to me to I am co-creating or I am creating, and who I am internally radiates out and reflects out into the world, and I can be a very aligned, powerful being and add or bring in a higher vibration into the world and awaken or elevate what's happening out in the world. So that's how we contribute as a sovereign being. Divine sovereignty, it's the remembrance of who we are as the core star and the origin of creation. When we know that we are not broken, when we know that we are not bound, when we know that we don't have any limitations, when we recognize that everything in the moment is in the moment and we can collapse that and we can expand that into the new, into the new, into the new, open up new possibilities or tapping into higher possibilities, recognizing and observing what is not and what is in alignment with who we are authentically at the highest truth of who we are. And also harnessing that. So again, being in the awareness and the consciousness of what am I creating in this moment, what is reflected back to me, and is what I am creating the reality that I am absolutely enjoying or I am in love with, and how can I create that differently to be exactly what I want it to be. So that brings me to how we relate to the world, how we take in everything that is happening in the world, and we get that information, we internalize it, and then we kind of feed it back into the world is how we relate. So we can relate from a very sovereign, nothing is affecting me, I am actually holding the light and the beacon of light, or I am being pulled into the emotions, the fears, the scarcity, the lack that is happening in the world. So how do I relate to the world? So coming back to what is operating from that divine sovereignty is recognizing again that your frequency and vibration and consciousness, and that you can choose from that place of creation what it is that you want to seed into the world and share with the world from that higher level. And in doing so, you're deconstructing and you're facilitating others to step into a new reality of who they are as well. So again, we're constantly creating and co-creating. So where are we co-creating from? Are we co-creating from the place of ultimate truth, divine expression, or absolute knowing as the intelligence that we are, the universal intelligence that we are? Or are we co-creating from mass consciousness and the fears that have been seeded and embedded into mass consciousness? But the mastery is recognizing where we are and how we are, and then shifting into that alignment. And that is sovereignty. That is, I get to choose what I get to create in the world for myself and for others. A lot of information to answer your question.
So what are some of the practical steps that you recommend?
And some of the practical steps, and you've been hearing them throughout this conversation, I feel like one of the big and very important ones, because it is a superpower and we all have it and it's very easy to recognize it, is choice. Is what am I choosing to be? What am I choosing to create in this moment? That helps us identify, is life happening to me? Am I a victim of what's happening? Or am I a creator? When we decide, when we observe, when we choose, I am the creator, that moves us into our divine sovereignty, our divine alignment. Because we're moving beyond what has been given, what has been distorted, or what has been programmed into the story that initially we accepted. And we're moving beyond the story to, I get to decide, I get to design my life I get to access higher levels of consciousness, to experience myself in the freedom that I am as a core star, as divine intelligence, as that eternal flame, as pure consciousness and pure love. So again, the first superpower that everybody has is that choice. And with that choice, we're taking responsibility. So responsibility would be the second one, the second step. I take responsibility of everything that I am creating. And the third one would be creating. What am I creating? And is that in alignment? Is that what I want? Or do I want to choose differently? And that's where the infinite possibilities come in, because whatever we choose creates a possibility. And if we stay on that, make the same similar choices, we still stay on the possibility. But when we realize, this is not truly what I want, or is not bringing to me, or is not helping me create or experience the life, then what is that other possibility? What are the other higher possibilities that I can choose from? So there, now we're acting in our power as creator beings.
Do you subscribe to the idea that there are multiple timelines constantly kind of, shifting? Is that part of your quantum awakening consciousness?
Yes. So when we're talking about creation, it's sort of an expansion that's happening, and it's continuously changing and shifting. The reality that we're in, the choices that we make, what we accept, what we act out of, what we behave, what we embody, continues to change those timelines. Well, when you talk about a quantum leap, that's a huge breakthrough that we just created, meaning that we were in a certain state of being, a certain consciousness, and we either found something that we were holding on to or carrying or playing out as a pattern or cycle, and either we collapsed it or we cleared it, or with help of others. And what that allows us to do is to close that gap from where we are to the next level frequency. So then we begin again to embody a higher possibility, a higher probability, a higher expectancy of what we want to bring into the world. So we move out of the time that we're in. And that is how a lot of us are able to move out of the suffering and move out of the survival and out of that, because we realize that, okay, so if I came here to learn, now I realize that I'm a learner, and what do I want to learn? I want to learn that I'm infinite. I want to learn that I am pure consciousness, that I can program and reprogram, that I can delete and uncreate, that I can elevate my consciousness now, that I can expand my channel and receive more information, that I can evolve into the next level of me. And that's how we're constantly shifting and moving into different timelines. And it happens immediately. Now, the other thing that we can do is we can open up other timelines of other experiences that are all happening at the same time, but where either we're very evolved and we can align or integrate that higher level technology, or we can open up timelines where we're still stuck in a loop or pattern, and then bring in that higher consciousness to those timelines and elevate those timelines, lifetimes, and then reintegrate to the wholeness of that pure intelligence that we are. And that also helps us to move and hold a higher frequency. It helps us expand our capacity to holding more inner space, being able to create more, especially if we're in service to other. It up level us to the new higher mission, and the new higher mission, and the new higher mission, greater contribution.
Wow. In your work with people, is there a particular demographic group that you like to work with? And do you do individual sessions or group, or both?
I do both. And I would say I track both men and women, but the majority of my audience is women. A lot of women who are very gifted in many different ways, and either in transition or ready to unlock more. Either they're in transition from a very high performance career, so they sort of like met their or they feel like they've met their full potential in that space. Like there's another level for them that they haven't opened, so they move into awakening their spirituality or awakening their technology. And or women that are already in the field, in service, contribution, making an impact, but feel that there's another level that they're ready to experience. So that's sort of the one group. And then the other group are women and men that have had like a chronic disease for a long time, chronic illness for a long time. Sometimes it's a diagnosis, sometimes it's a very rare diagnosis that is just being managed. And they come to me and we're able to find the root cause in many different timelines where it was anchored and we release it. And then they move into the next level, which a lot of the times what that is activating their technology, and that was what was holding them back from stepping into their true, authentic, and powerful potential.
I want to ask you some questions a little bit about your own personal, very unique lineage. In your bio, it says that your lineage spans hybrid Andromedan and Arcturian DNA, aligned with higher aspects of Sirian, Arcturian, and Andromedan consciousness, as well as being luminous beings of light. So how does that kind of show up in your life, and how did you discover that, and how do you work with that? That's really fascinating.
That's a good question, and thank you for asking that. So the way that works in my life, and you kind of asked me about this in terms of, are they multiple timelines, multiple possibilities? So that's actually how it shows up when I'm in a group or when I'm working with an individual, especially if one of them is bringing their technology, and we are because a lot of my higher selves are what you just described, and they'll come in and help me with my groups or with an individual. So it kind of looks like my counsel. I'm in a session or in a group, and they come in and they kind of stand around me, and sometimes they introduce themselves, sometimes they don't. I already know who they are because I can sense their energy when they stand behind me, or just the love that they bring into the group. And they either work from where they're standing, or they'll come in close to me, almost like a direct channel, and they'll work through me when I'm working with individuals. And the technology that they bring is pure frequency, and it's color, it's tone, it's sacred geometry, it's light language, and it's a powerful activation of the divine blueprint when they come in. They work with the architecture to repair. They work with the architecture to activate the intelligence of the divine blueprint, especially if there's an awakening to happen, or if there's a healing to happen. They'll come in and they'll do that, and it's just so amazing because it's like they're my team. They'll come in and they'll hang out with me when we're doing sessions. And actually, right before when I was actually listening to Heather Taylor, they were all standing around me. They're like, okay, we're waiting. We're waiting to come in when you're ready, when it's your turn. So, if you're any of you are clairvoyant, and any of you, feel love, they're all here. They're all here because they want to hold space. And if you're listening, even though it sounds like I'm just talking, there is a transmission happening right now, that if you're willing to receive, you're receiving it.
Wow. Well, would you like to conclude? We'll show your website at the end. Would you like to conclude by actually leading a transmission, sharing a transmission?
Yes, that would be wonderful. Yes.
Our audience would love that. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, thank you. And a lot of times they don't come individually. They'll kind of sort of like a collective. So you'll hear the different tones, but they're all participating and sharing and co-creating with you. So we're going to go ahead and just have them step in and share with you. I'm going to have you just take a deep breath, open up your heart, fill your heart with love, even more love than you've been holding in your space. And we're going to have you just open up. Before they start, they're just going to do a little bit open up of your chakras, especially the third chakra, the throat chakra. So go ahead and take a deep breath, and as you take that deep breath, just receive, allow, and surrender. take another deep breath. If you experience yourself sort of floating, like if you're laying back and you're being held, for those of you that say yes, I can see them working with you. They're doing a couple activations in your architecture, in your codex, and it looks like little rays of light coming in. It's the frequency that they're bringing in, and it's going really fast, like when you type, it's just going activating different parts of you, and especially the heart, unconditional love, loving kindness, compassion, and so we're really good at giving to others, and what they really want to focus on, giving to yourself. And giving to yourself means self-acceptance, means giving yourself permission to have it all. It means I am the divine being within me. I am sovereignty, or I'm sovereign. I am the divine, infinite love and oneness within me. I am that eternal flame within me. I am that core star within me. I am the radiance and brilliance of who I am, and I honor myself for that. I am a gift to the world. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. One more deep breath. Shahayi tahata hanatsete he satu jahum mahana hanatsuta ukha kiakiao sahi shahana masa tiarete se uretsete shamanunutsuhu hamua tiatia mahanaka yerusai shahi naha naha sehe yaumahadata sahatia kashania tutsatuja yerutsu. Lots of work happening in the spine, lots of codes. So what they're noticing are codes that were there and needed repair, or they were overused, again, sort of exhausted, burnout. And so they are coming in and helping you recalibrate, reconfigure. It's almost like being in a spa and getting rejuvenated. Marusati tarakena hanita satana hanakatsutuja. Siakuma hakiakia satajana natsatu zakatara mauna yoto. Yorotso totoro kai sahiada saharia siatira jauta. Meutatira katsaraka. They're also helping you connect all your energy centers. Some of you really enjoy being in the heart and higher. So they're having you connect fully so you can be the authority. As the authority, as that sovereign being fully present in your body as the creator, mighty creator that you are, as the light being, sacred sun that you are. So lots of opening the back of the heart. Uma ita ika atsatia shi ati anio u sati na ha u saha. Tiramau tahieka satajina nanatsata saha. Ruai na yi na ha ha re tsete jeme unayoto. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Relax further, go inward. Allow yourself to be in that stillness, in that receivingness. Aunasua I haina haha diatsia turana ima unayoto. Huruku hariariat satajia mana yoto kurane yete. Yamauta taratsa tajana tsutuja kiakatsa. Hura nahania tiratsa tajara katsaraka. They want you to go deeper. They want you to surrender more. They want to say yes to you. Yes, as I am the conscious creator. I create my reality. My words have power. My thoughts have energy and frequency. I embody the truth of who I am. I embody the sovereign being that I am, the brilliance of my star, the radiance of my sacred sun. I am. I am the divine essence, infinite oneness of who I am. Kia mahura ni sati terei. Heketsete shamauna tu saha. Kyakara harete sehete keshemana yotso. Shauna yete tserema unaya usahura. Haraka tsaraka. Lots of Syrian energy right now. Marutsatiara ujana yatira tsati jayoko horoko. Yamau tarata tsaratana yatira utsete jekeke tsitana. Usahi hare. Now nana seru uja yeta tsatara haraka tsaraka harama. Now Elohim are coming in. Mausana nanayita rorodotsoto jayu harana yara utaradana tsateje. Maukaha hatara tatsama hanaka yutatsi yatsu. They're really working on the back of the heart space, releasing and removing a lot of the wounding that was there, especially from other times of embodiment, and especially as a child. Nauta kyakaratsa tujanana yausati. Una hanana yatiara satura mahana kaye. Harata saratara mahana katsatuau. Hamanona yatira dara tiratsuta shehe. Mauna yarahara haraka yutatsi. Una nana yaru hu hamara nanatsatu. Yahura kya kya satajina inai. Uma nayarara satura yete keketse. Dauruna ira runa yoro. Maurana yatsaraka katsataja. Hiarana tsaraka. Continue to lean into your I am, I am, I am. Divine perfection. I am the divine within me. I am the cosmic being within me. I am universal intelligence. I am source, God, universe within me. I am creation. I am creator. I am truth. I am infinite possibility, pure potentiality. Yeroha hare sete jemena karet sete hauha. Haramaka haret sete jenini ninita yu. Uo tsatuna hama karana tsatazu. Woa ya yana yara tsaturatsi tara harene yete dene mehene ke keratsu. Shohararana yatirara tsara karamahana karakara tsatara. Arcturian and Andromedan energy. Mautadara tsati sharana yatotso. You can feel like the codex moving through your body, almost like a shower of codes coming through a frequency. Harana satura yatororo tsutu jama una yoro hororo katsatina. Uhana rana yitari tetsete sheke menatsutu. Sho mahane nesete sheke yitatsetere tsetu. Sohare arahara sohare e. Soha mana yara tara tsuta shuhari ka kekenetse. Okay, here come the Arcturians. They're like, we need to pull you all the way into your body. Matu haha tiatera tsita shitarana yatiera tsata hara kahara tsatu. So mahana karaku mahana tsati yete seheteke. Shatu sahara nenene tseterete sheseri kamauna sohoro. Shahari tatita rita rita ritsene yete tsereita ya umai. Ina tsete she. They're saying no excuses. You're choosing it. You're choosing it now. You deserve it. It's yours. Hanana yitaritsete jene yete suru. Ranana yatiaraka hurakatsita. Hu hanana. So everybody that is leaning sort of like away because they're saying, oh, this is too much responsibility, being my powerful self, they're saying, no, it's okay. It's your turn. Let's do it. We're here. We're going to help you. And they're pulling you back into ownership, to reclaiming who you are, to your divine power, to your cosmic sovereignty. They're saying, yes, your time. And lots of golden energy around you right now as well. Na uji, na shuatia, kyakatsu, tajoma, ananatsi, taku, kuruma, no yoto, tsuru, kojene, yete, keke. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And go ahead and say with ease and grace, knowing that you're safe, I surrender. I surrender to the divine within me. I surrender to the truth within me. I surrender to the power within me. I surrender to divine intelligence with me. I surrender to my all-knowing self. I surrender. It is safe for me to be powerful beyond measure. It is safe for me to be the all-knowing self. It is safe for me to be cosmic sovereignty. It is safe for me to be my supernatural self. It is safe for me to be seen, to be heard, to be wealthy, to be happy, to be healthy. It is safe for me to have it all. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And let's go ahead and release the last bit from the throat so you can truly be authentic with your words. One more deep breath. Whoa. And one more deep breath. They work with the inner child as well, because I could see part of the inner child wanting to run away from responsibility and choice, and they brought you into the safe space of all you have to do is play. All you have to do is have fun. All you have to do is enjoy yourself being here. One more deep breath as we come back fully into the body. As we experience ourselves as the next level of ourselves, in that authority, in that presence, in that power of creation as creator beings, as architects and designers of our life. One more deep breath as we say yes to us, yes to embodiment, yes to choice, yes to the truth, yes to infinite possibilities, yes to instant manifestation, yes to joy, happiness, love. One more deep breath. Very good. I am, I am, I am. I receive, I allow, I surrender, I trust, I am safe, I am grateful, I embody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow, Maria. I am so glad you did that.
Thank you.
There's a lot of comments that come in, and I'm going to read one from Shoshana. She writes, waves of light are going through me, and I hear the frequency of your friends and feel the emanation of vibrations that are so peaceful and inviting me into coherence. It's like a musical chord with overtones, and all of the frequencies feel deeply nourishing and being transmitted through several layers. I'm feeling colors and sparkles. Thank you. So profound. Charlotte writes, so much unconditional love flowing through tonight. George Noble writes, I am feeling better, more energized. Anyone else? Heather, who's just with us, sending love and abundant flow. Hearts from Carol and Katie O'Shea. Dia Therese writes, wow, floating. They speak directly throughout me. I'm experiencing this as if I'm the only one in the room. Profoundly received. Namaste. Lorna Sass writes, very loving and powerful healing. Charlotte writes, I needed that. Phew, thank you. Ayada writes, Maria, this was so powerful. I began yawning almost as soon as you started the healing and then could not stop. This is always a sign to me that my body nervous system is relaxing, feeling so much energy moving through my body. Thank you. Susan Bloomquist writes, I remember you from last time. I'm sure glad you came back. Susan Woolridge, we always have lots of Susans. Susan Woolridge writes, thank you, Maria. I found myself spontaneously chanting with you. So grateful for your loving and quiet invitation to join. And lots of hearts and love from Adrena Joy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to take people to your website. It's 360, the numbers 360prosperity.com. 360prosperity.com, where we embrace self-discovery, balance, potential, and well-being. Is there any particular spot that you want me to make sure that I show your
If product and services, let's say what, well, when you come to the website, a pop-up will come up, and it's welcoming you to my community. When you opt in, you receive an MP3 activation. You also receive 2 courses. One is the Quantum Awakening Accelerator, and the other one is Wealth Consciousness. Under services as well, you'll be able to book what I call a discovery call. And or even in the corner where it says contact me, you can also, and really anywhere on the page as you scroll down, you'll see book with me. So there on the individual sessions, and even if you just scroll anywhere down, it'll when it says to book with me, see sessions there. Schedule discovery call. This discovery call is not necessarily a healing clearing, but it is a reading. So if you have a question, something that you've been waiting to break through, something that you've been ruminating about, or questions about how to break some patterns or what is next for you, this is a place to go. It is free. It's a free discovery session, and it's about 15 to 20 minutes long, but it's a chance for you to step into the next you, because I'll do the reading and I'll give you sort of a plan that you can work with on your own, and then of course you can choose also to work with me in different ways, one-on-one or in a group.
Wow. All right. Well, beautiful, powerful. And I will look forward to, let's meet next weekend at the New Living Expo, okay?
Thank you.
I'd love to
Look
meet
forward
you.
to that.
Yeah, I would like that too. You'll see me. I'll be the one with the little white dog and the long silver hair.
Thank you. I'll look for you.
All right, Maria.
Wonderful.
Thank
you
you
for having me.
Absolutely. Wow, wasn't that powerful? Eleanor Joy just wrote, Maria's transmission eventually took me to the quantum field, and I returned just as the session was concluding. I went very deep. Yeah, me too. I'll put the website into the chat box again. It's well, here, let's go back here. It's 360prosperity.com. And here it is again. Okay. Well, let's integrate all of this with some more music from our wonderful Lori Ann Speed, who will hopefully turn on her camera. There she is. Hi, Lori Ann.
Hi.
Did you get a chance to take in that amazing transmission from Maria?
I did. Yes, I absolutely did. Woo!
Yeah, well, back to back, her transmission followed by your music, and then Starchild and Vigari. So it's going to be a wonderful way to kind of integrate all that we experienced tonight.
Okay. Happy to play.
And what's this number going to be?
This one's called Soft Summer Nights. So from the same album, From Summer in Time, that's my most recent album. Soft Summer Nights. And, we're just in spring here. I'm in Canada, cold Canada. And I don't know, it's always like when you think past, when you live in this kind of contrast between winter and spring and summer. Because I don't know about you guys in California, okay? So we have like 4 distinct seasons. And anyway, Soft Summer Nights is a very special piece for me because I have a cabin in the woods way out on a lake. And I had been going to this cabin many summers, but without my piano. And finally, I just couldn't bear not to have my piano there, grand piano. And so I shipped it up.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I know. It was a radical move. And the day it arrived, I was so excited, so happy to see my best friend. And that night, with all the doors and windows open to this soft summer night, like twinkle lights and the tree frogs, and just this warm, soft summer air, this beautiful piece came to me. And so I named it in honor of that night. And so you may feel that, but let the music take you where it knows best what's for you. So you don't have to, reach for, oh, does that sound like a soft summer night? I hesitate sometimes to share the titles because really so unique for each person. So just receive it and let it mean what it means to you. Okay?
Beautiful. Thank you, Lori Ann.
I'm having a little bit of trouble with the lighting here because I set different lighting tonight. So the piano's all in shadows, different kind of shadows. So it takes me a minute to find my place. There we go.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Most of our friends have our cameras turned off, but I am going to go to gallery view. And for those of you who do have your cameras on, oh, the Hertogs are with us. Great. Lots and lots of love. Send twinkles. So much beauty. Such a beautiful musical piece. We're going to go to the Hertogs and Allen in a moment, but I do want to again remind people that her website is her name, Lori, Lori, Ann, A-N-N, speed.com. And her music is so exquisite. Eleanor George just wrote, it suddenly came to me that this piece of music is for Omoshar and his mother, a divine download, it seems, so exquisite. Ayada writes, I just love how elegantly Lori Ann's hands move across her keyboard. So beautiful, so beautiful. Lori Ann, you're a gem. You have become one of our favorite, most beloveds here on the Awakening World. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for having me.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you, everyone.
And I'm looking forward to meeting you at your daughter's wedding.
Yes. I know. That's very exciting. I can't wait. That'll be really nice.
Yeah, it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, how wonderful. We actually are going to get a chance to say hello to the Hertogs, who are here with Alan. And welcome, JJ and Desiree.
Well, thank you. We're all together for the New Living Expo next
And there's
weekend.
been so many wonderful, beautiful people on the program tonight. The fantastic music of Lori, and before her, Maria Martinez. This was fantastic. Fantastic. Speaking in tongues, speaking in spiritual vibrations.
In the light language.
This is really what is necessary for our humanity to wake up.
And of course, we'll be presenting on Saturday on what we call the Divine Codes and the Keys of Enoch, which we're kind of Dr. Jack's famous for.
And most of you see the book, but what's important is what's in the book, which is the return of the dove coming down on the 7 levels of the 7 chakras or 7 seals with the language of light. And so we've been working on this diligently throughout the world. And there's several ways of understanding the language of light. Most traditionalists see this as a type of mathematical pattern, pretty much like Max Targ, the famous mathematician, MIT, Tegmark, that everything is mathematics. We would say it's mathematics, but consciousness. In our work, we have been able to show, as we see here in the cosmogram here, sacred geometry has sacred color, sacred sounds, and sacred pronouncements, and we bring all of this together in our work. And so at the gathering that's going to take place this coming weekend, we're going to be able to demonstrate this, why it's so necessary to use the language of light as we go into the time of ascension work and contact.
Yeah, and so we're really excited. It's going to be a great gathering, hopefully with some great music as well, and people from all over the Bay Area. It's always been a really good family gathering, and we just hope it's expanded also into, and of course we always see you there, Scott, so it's such a good time. We're also going to be doing a futures panel at the end, because a lot of people are wondering what our future is all about, especially connected with AI or cosmic intelligence.
So Scott, thank you. Thank you. We're also going to be presenting together a remote viewing overview of how to access the non-local mind. So how's all that?
What time on Saturday will your program be?
Ours is just a little, I think it's 12:15, something like that.
Oh, great. Perfect. So it won't be a problem with ours. And a reminder, of course, what we're all talking about is the New Living Expo taking place in San Rafael. All the presenters you saw tonight are going to be there. And it's next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Please join us. Of course, we will be doing our Awakening World show on Saturday night, and then probably a special one on Sunday, bringing you people like the Hertogs and Alan and all sorts of wonderful people. And Tangela will be my co-host on Saturday, and I believe Eden Amadora will be my co-host on Sunday. And
if I can go back.
What's that?
Yes, Scott, if you can go back for a couple of minutes. On the cover of the Keys of Enoch, we see 7 pairs of hands catching the light, the palms of light, catching light. This is an illustration that every time we open the book, it's Palm Sunday. We take our hands, we receive the superluminal light, we process it through our 7 chakra levels, we emanate it to the world, and we take on responsibility of being the avant-garde of this massive change that's going to come after the cycle of death that we're being exposed to. It's a tragedy that the world media wants to emphasize only the negative. We must be there emphasizing always the positive.
So that's what you do, and everyone receives the light in their own way because you provide so many options for everyone to understand.
Yeah, thanks, Scott, for making this opportunity, and we look forward to seeing you in the flesh soon.
You will see me and my faithful dog next Friday. Looking forward to seeing you guys next weekend, and thanks for popping on.
All.
Thank you.
Love you guys so much. Love those guys, all 3 of them. They're like the 3 musketeers, traveling all over doing incredible things together. Well, it's been quite a show. And I'm grateful to all of you that are still with us. Frode in Norway. Always good to see you, Frode, my friend. And a reminder that, I didn't even have my Global Peace Tribe background up, so I'll go there quickly. A reminder that we have just started our new season, and boy, it sure is off to a great start, isn't it? Now, for those of you who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, now is a great time to join the Global Peace Tribe because we just started our new season. If you go to globalpeacetribe.com, just click register for the new season, and that's where you'll get the link that'll take you to our registration page. It should do that. There we go. Oh, this always happens. It keeps going around and around. But when you actually go on, and it's not on Zoom, but you go on directly, it will take you to register for the new season. And you can register and get all the links to all of our shows, get on our email list for the next 3 months. So please, please, please do join us. And we're going to conclude this wonderful show by going to our beloveds, Starchild and Vagari. There they are. Hello, beautiful. What a show, huh?
This one is called Siboye. It will take you on a journey of joy, and you are welcome to chant with us.
Anticipation of the new world that we're all looking forward to.
Yes.
Those voices calling, they say the time has come. Soon we will be rejoicing. We're breaking the chains of oppression. We all want peace and harmony. You know it comes from deep inside. Let the heart and spirit point the way. Join with your brothers and sisters far and wide. Dele, dele, yeah. Dele, dele, yeah. Dele, dele, yeah. Dele. See the light, chase away the darkness. Turn around, away from the corruption. Take away the burden from the children. Let them be free from exploitation. We the people, we don't need to suffer. Don't you know we have got the power? See the world turning to abundance for everyone. Oh my, see you, see it. Oh mama, see boy, oh my, see you, see it. Oh mama, see boy, oh my, see you. Oh mama, see boy, oh my, see you. Oh mama, see boy. I hear those voices calling. I hear those voices calling. They say the time has come. The time has come. Soon we will be rejoicing. We are breaking the chains of oppression. Billy, Billy, yeah. Billy, Billy, yeah. Billy, Billy, yeah. Billy. See the people, we don't need to suffer. Don't you know we have got the power? See the world returning to abundance for everyone, everywhere. Hear the ground, the earth is your vibration. Sing your song, give us your expression. Hear your mind, let the world around you reflect your love. Oh my, see it. Oh mama, see boy. Oh my, see it, see it. Oh mama, see boy. Oh my, see it, see it. Oh mama, see boy. Oh my, see it. Oh mama, see boy. Oh my, see it. Oh my, see it. Oh mama, see boy. Oh my, see it, see it. Oh mama, see boy. Oh my, see boy. Oh my, see it. Oh mama, see boy. Oh my, see it, see it. Oh mama, see boy. See boy, yeah, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that was beautiful. Well, a reminder that you can find all things Star Child at starchild.ca. And I just learned that if you take a look under galleries and you go to Fun Furs Designs, look at this. She's not only an amazing musical artist and a wonderful person who delights children, but she creates amazing things. Look at all these beautiful things that she creates.
They're called fun furs.
Fun fur.
Fun furs, they're for shamans and artists. They are angel wings. They are warm and beautiful shaman artistic wear.
There's so much here. It's amazing.
Yes.
Do you custom design them for people?
I do custom design them. They're available. Look at this one, my Vigario wears. And
Oh, the
you
one
wear
on
them
Vigari
all
there.
the
You look like a king.
He is a
Vigari.
king. So it's warm and it's vegetarian, believe it or not. It's really wonderful. You could survive in the woods with this beautiful thing. Their wings, they make you fly, and it's a shamanic.
Yeah, no animals gave their life for this. So.
No, and we wear them all the time here in BC because it's pretty cold, I tell you, and it keeps us warm and fuzzy, and we're happy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, everybody, you can get them at Star, and you can call. People can call you if they're interested, right?
Yep.
And a reminder that again, if you go to starchild.ca, just go back to the beginning here. Her phone number is right there.
Yes.
So you can call her and get some furs from her. Let's get these fun furs, F-U-R-Z. Thank you so much for staying up late. I know that it's really late where you guys are. And very late for some of the people that are still with us. So it's been a beautiful show. I love you guys. And you're going to be on again. I know I've got you scheduled for the for our anniversary show. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Love you guys so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott.
I'm frozen for some reason. Well, that's funny. Let's see if there we go. There, I'm back.
He's back.
Wow. What a show. What an evening. Thank you, everybody. I wanted to show you what we've got coming up on Wednesday. Let me pull that poster up for us. Our Wednesday show is going to be really, really dynamic. We've got a group of incredible women who are going to be sharing their wisdom. And you know some of them. Here we go. Ray Amana is going to be with us. And Tatiana Speed, Lori's daughter, is going to be with us. And I'll have to let Lorianne know that. And they're both going to be speaking and doing music. And we've got Mayor Cromwell coming back to share with us some really important information. And then a new friend, Ashton Monea. She is a trip. She's brilliant and she's pretty far out there. So it's going to be Wise Women Honoring Mother Earth Gaia is our theme. So join us. I'm going to be blessed to be with these 4 extraordinary women and hopefully with all of you next Wednesday. Lorianne, there you are. Your daughter's going to be with us next Wednesday. So thank you, everybody, for being with us all late. I also want to say hello to anybody who's watching the recording because most of the people actually watch the recording. So a big hello to all of you. And thank you, Ayada, for that lovely message. I'm seeing it right now. And yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful show. So much love. I'm going to go get a very late dinner. And I look forward to seeing you all next Wednesday. Thank you, Fanny and Vigari, Starchild and Vigari, Lorianne, all of our presenters, all of our people that are still with us. I'll go to Gallery View one last time. And oh, look at all those beautiful faces. Charlotte, who channeled the praying mantis person being with us tonight. That was amazing.